Okay, anyways. Hi everybody, Happy New Year. It's the first stream of the new year from me. Let's adjust the camera a little bit. Alright, hello. Good to see you guys here. It's Ninja Gamer, Cyan, Donovan, Teoma, Evan. Thank you all for joining today. Hope you guys are having a good new year. Today actually marks 3 months of me being married, so that's pretty sick. Just got back from work. I was over coaching some little kids. That was really fun. Yeah, haven't really done much today since that. I was working, and now I'm here. I'm streaming, and then after this, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and record this week's Skill Sunday. If you missed last week's Skill Sunday, you guys get to throw in the comments of a post on either Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok, because I have a TikTok now apparently. You comment an obstacle that I'm going to try, and I'm going to try it. You know, if I like the idea, I'll try it. I can only pick one a week. And then you comment again, and we're just going to repeat the cycle, and you guys keep trying stuff. This week, I think I'm going to try something that Billy actually recommended. There's an I-beam. It goes crooked, across, and then there's like a 3 or 4 foot drop down, and then the ledge goes out. Billy wants me to try that with just my hands. I've never tried it with just my hands. It's super thin, so I'm basically just doing cliffhanger stuff. It's that big drop down that I want to do, and if I can do it that way super easy, I'll try the other way where I'm going to try and do like a big dyno up. That's going to be tough, but we'll see. I think it's more doable to do it the other way. I'm going to probably try that one this week. And then, see, stuff like this, I would love to try if someone made it. A 1 foot thin warped wall, I would try it. I genuinely would try that if someone built it, but there's no one who's made that. People keep asking me to do the vertical limit burst, the new vertical limit from Sasuke. And, like, there's only 3 of those that exist, 4 of those. Yusuke made his own, Gio made his own, Donovan Matoyer made his own, and Brett Sims made his own, but he took it down. So there's 3 out there in the world right now. And nothing, you know? I would love to try the vertical limit burst someday. There's just not enough of them out there. So, like, to the people who are commenting, do the burst. You know, that's kind of a lot. Make one at level up. I have asked, we'll see, who makes obstacles at level up. That would be Chad Hone. He's the owner of Level Up. He makes all the obstacles in there himself. He'll make, he'll look at stuff that people are making, and instead of having to pay DGS like $200 for a single obstacle, he'll, spend half the money to build it himself. It was hilarious because there was like some plywood laying around, and he traced a batarang, and then he sawed it open, and now he has a fully, working batarang, all sanded up and everything. Am I okay? Thank you for asking, Donovan. Yes, I had the flu last month. And the cough just bothers me. The cough still has not gone away. So if I talk too loud or something, I tend to cough a lot. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. What's up, Jakari? You joined just in time because today we are bringing back Soapbox, the first one in 2024. I think it's been like 2 months since I've done one of these, but I'm hoping to do Soapbox once a month. Again, Soapbox is when we go over hot topics in the ninja world, or break down the specifics behind, how certain things work in ninja. And thank you, Alex. Yeah, so today's topic is teen takeovers. Teen takeovers have obviously been a hot topic for the past 2 to 3 years of ninja now. And I originally knew that someday I would end up making this episode. But there was a ninja show that had something in December recently that really made me feel more motivated to make the teen episode today. So, without further ado, let's get the slideshow up. Teen takeovers. People, please just learn to deal with it. Now, I know when I say just learn to deal with it, I know that I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. I know that basically no one here is going to hate on ninja teens, and if you do, hopefully this will change your mind. But if you do know someone who hates on a ninja competitor because they are under the age of 18 or 19 or 21, please send this to them so they can learn, become enlightened, you know? The goal of Soapbox is not just to repeat things to people who already know facts. The goal is to hopefully reach out to new people in a logical and respectful way, change their minds, open the floor for discussion, etc., etc. Yeah, that's why Soapbox is a thing. So without further ado, let's get into it. Hopefully this cough will be gone in a week or two. Why is this important to discuss? Well, it's pretty simple. There are ninjas. These are the ninjas. I really should wear my glasses, but then it reflects in the camera. The teens are the ninjas who will shape the next decade or so of ninja. That includes both on and off the course. Our prime example that I can use is the NSC sponsors here. You know, you look at the NSC sponsors, and you've got Ocean Needs Everyone, run by, you know, Enzo DeFerrari Wilson, a teenager. The Bucket of Chalk, run by Kaden Lebsack and Max Feinberg, teenagers. You know, the Celebra family, the Celebras, it's a family, yes, but the main tie to ninja is Max Celebra, who I believe is a preteen. Like, these are children who are getting into ninja, and they are creating their own means of helping support the sport of ninja. It's only going to continue because right now they're in high school or college. When they are adults and fully capable of managing their own money and not having to be tied to their parents and whatnot, you know, they're going to end up continuing to grow this sport. We've also seen a lot of other ninja teens. They might not be teens anymore, but they were teens at some point, and they were teens when they got into it. They were some of the top guys. Matt Bradley being one of the most notable examples. Matt Bradley has gone on to make some of the most popular obstacles for ninjas. They're on the DGS website, which you can see again on the DGS Ninja logo right there on the NSC sponsor graphic. And they also sponsor the World Ninja League. They sponsor so many other different things. These people are everywhere, you know, and they're not really going to go anywhere because this is the sport that they've chosen. And it's awesome. Teoma, please don't turn this into a debate over who's the best team. Like, although Max versus Anov would be a very, very fun matchup. Let's stay on subject here. But yeah, so this is important to discuss because at the end of the day, the teens are they are either part of the bigger puzzle, the bigger picture of ninja, or they are working their way into the bigger picture of ninja. You guys know about Slapchalks. The CEO of Slapchalks is a child, Joseph Rose. Great. He seems like a really good kid. I don't really think I need to explain it beyond that. And also a bunch of ninja teens or young adults now. Excuse me. They are coaches. They're coaching in ninja gyms. They might not own the ninja gyms, but they are coaching pretty frequently. So, let's just take a little trip back in time. Because before the age limit was lowered, everyone wanted the age limit to be lowered. I know that some of you younger people watching this might not remember this, but when the A&W age limit was 21, there were so many people, myself included, who was asking for the age limit to be dropped down to 18. And that wasn't just among the diehard fans on the A&W subreddit. That wasn't just among Sasuke Maniac forums. That was like in the comments of Instagram posts of them being like, hey, when people turn 18, can we go on the show? Can we apply now? Can you lower the age limit, please? And eventually they did lower the age limit to 19, obviously, and then they lowered the age limit to 15. So let's just keep that in mind. For those who might have forgotten their roots here, before the age limit was lowered, people wanted the age limit lowered. So they kind of did this to themselves. So why are these guys getting hate for doing exactly what we all wanted to do as fans? Get on this show. Make Ninja a part of their lives, if not make Ninja their entire lives. And these are just a few examples. Obviously, there's there's way more Ninja teens out there. I just didn't want, I only wanted to add 4 photos. So here you go. I don't understand. You know, you hate on these guys. You know, you mentioned a great point, Alex. There may or may not be a slide about jealousy. There may or may not be a slide about that. So this is the real question of the whole soapbox presentation. Why are these guys getting hate? But these guys aren't. This is why I wanted to make my presentation. This is why I wanted to do the teen episode. Because in the show that started it all, the one that everyone stands by, no matter how good or bad a tournament is, no matter whether it's a G4 style edit and they can see the subtitles, or it's all in Japanese, they don't understand anything that's going on besides the actions and the people running the course. Suddenly, when 2 teenagers break through, everyone's happy about it. But when we've seen international success from younger athletes, there's a problem. Is the problem not with the fans showing their inherent biases? And I think that's a huge discussion that we need to be having. Number 1, I have a couple bullet points about why you should not hate on teens at all, period. You should just respect all of them regardless of what show they're on, where they're coming from, how hard they're training, how much access they have to Ninja. Doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day... Nope, not that one. You can't be giving these guys hate, the A&W guys, when you're going to love these guys. Why? Because one of them has the same last name as our favorite competitor. I'm going to be real, guys. You know Makoto Nagano is my favorite competitor, period. Right? Makoto Nagano is my favorite competitor of all time. No one will ever be my favorite over him. So I understand. People would be excited when his son clears. When someone coached by all-star Katsumi Yamada clears. Understandable. All these people have been coached by Ninja Legends their whole lives. This is Jay Lachey right there. He's trains coached by Joe Moravsky. The Bergstroms have like a massive community in Florida where Enzo and Vance train. Vance was over in Texas with all these top Texas ninja, Karsten Williams, you know, all these big name ninjas over in Texas. Kaden training with the people in Colorado, starting up his own gym in Colorado, kind of. I don't think he doesn't own Ninja Intensity, but I'm pretty sure his parents have a co-ownership in there or something like that. These people are the legacy. These people are the legacy of top athletes. Cal Plahoros, great example. The protege of Flip Rodriguez. You know, Josiah Papel, the protege of Najee Richardson. But everyone's getting so upset, so mad about the success. And it's like they're your favorite A&W competitors, and here are their pupils. But then they're your favorite Sasuke competitors, and here are their pupils. One gets hate, one gets love. At the end of the day, to me it doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter, because these competitors either have to or already have earned their stripes. Teens end up becoming fan favorites after they do well. This is both a point, this is just a straight up fact, but this is also a point of hypocrisy to fans. For one, it is objectively true. The people who do well in Ninja Warrior are the ones that everyone tends to root for. They become the fan favorites. No one can go on and tell me that in ANW 4 they were rooting for Brian Arnold, or that they really knew who Brian Arnold was. Everyone knew Brian Arnold and became a fan of Brian Arnold because of his run on Stage 3 in ANW 5. And that's when he became Brian Arnold Ninja Superstar. So obviously when the teens do well, they're going to gain some more respect. They're going to gain some more fans. People are going to like them and tolerate them on their screens more. Absolutely. But at the same time, if you're... How do I put this? If you are coming into a Ninja Warrior show basically only rooting for the people who do well, you're bandwagoning, essentially. That just means that you're hating on people for not doing that in the first place for an entire season. Great example, Kaden Lebsack. Everyone was hating on Kaden because he was one of the teens. And then Kaden became a fan favorite in ANW 13 when he made it to the final stage, right? And then everyone was like, oh, Kaden Lebsack could win. I want to see how Kaden does. I'm going to follow Kaden on Instagram. I can't wait to see how he does next season. And it's like, dumb? It's dumb. Because are we not going to pretend that Kaden didn't have an entire season prior to his final stage climb that was awesome? People were hating in the qualifiers, semifinals, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. People were still hating. But because he was the only one to make it to the final stage, he got people's respect. Objectively, this is what happens every season. It happened to Josiah and Jay when they made it to the final stages. It happened to Noxa. It happened to Noah. It happened to Ethan Bartnicki, which is insane because Ethan Bartnicki, he's done 2 seasons. He's made it to stage 3 and then the final stage. Like, a career like that is, like, historic for anyone over the age of 18 that would make people, like, love someone like that. And Ethan Bartnicki gets, like, nothing. No type of respect or whatever at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. Point out the hypocrisy to people. This is another reason, again, we share soapbox with people who are not educated on this stuff or don't bother to think about this stuff as much as I might or as much as you guys might, because we're not going to, I'm not going to tolerate needless hate. Anyways, reason number 2 to stop hating the teens is the jealousy, because at the end of the day, fans want to be jealous. Alex said already in the chat, I'll reread it because I can see the chat logs. You answered your own question, Kane. They get hated because they're doing what we wanted to as fans. We wanted to do it, and now they get to. Dude, I'm not going to lie, Alex, that's a great point. My core memory of Ethan Bartnicki is him doing the spider walk in 3 seconds and then doing the L dance at the buzzer. That was hilarious. Anyways, jealousy. People are jealous. I think it's very evident that there are still thousands of people who apply for ANW. It's not like, oh, ANW is not as popular as it used to be anymore, and so only like 1,000 people are going to apply and only 100 something are going to get accepted. No, there's still well over in the 10,000s. That there's like tens of thousands of applications that go into American Ninja Warrior every year. And these guys are getting picked. We are in a new era where the obstacles are tougher. The only ones who can really beat them are the guys who train on it, regardless of age. So if these guys are being brought in, so be it. Because frankly, they're a better pick to have on Ninja Warrior than someone like me. I'm good, but I'm not going to do any crazy damage on Ninja Warrior. And you can still get good fails. You know, you can still get a balanced course, and you can still get shocking fails, good results, and a wide spread of results overall with the field that they're inviting to the show. So there's no real point in inviting joke competitors or whatever, especially when, I mean, I'm sorry. It's like, if you want everyday people, the lighthearted competitors, you're just asking for like an entire episode of TikTokers on A&W, essentially. That's essentially the types of runs that you would see, and that's just really, really hard to watch. But at the end of the day, the jealousy clouds them. You know, these fans, they just insist that they are in the right, that they know everything, and they don't. Here we go. Number 3. Most of these guys aren't even teens anymore. This is like my favorite slide. I think it's hilarious. Alex, I'm going to have to ask you more about the walk-ons when we get to the discussion part, because that is something that I've never thought of, and I would love to hear more about that. So when we get to the discussion, I'm going to ask you about that, if you don't mind. Yeah, most of these guys aren't teens anymore. I don't understand. Vance Walker won at 18. In A&W 15, Vance Walker got the $1 million, blah, 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 18 years old. He's a legal adult. You could be like, if his number is in the teens and it's less than 20, then he's a teen. Who cares? Shut up. 18, you're a legal adult in this country. The age limit was 19 before. So what's the problem with an 18-year-old doing it if the age limit was 19? That's dumb. That's stupid. It is illogical and irrational and overly emotional. A lot of these guys are now... Go ahead and name some ninja teens for me, guys. Throw them in the chat. Name the notable ninja teens that stick out to you. I just want to see something real quick. Who do you... When I say the word ninja teens, or the words, because I don't think of it as one word, who do you immediately think of? Enzo? Okay. Oliver Luttman? Okay. You don't count, Alex. You're WNL educated. But Enzo's 18 now. Exactly. Jackson Erdos? Okay. The first real wave of ninja teens, Enzo, Elijah, Kaden, Vance, Isaiah Thomas, Matt Bradley, Sam Folsom. Majority of them are aged between 18 and 21 nowadays. You know, not many of them are younger than 18. I think Kaden is like 17. And he's like a senior in high school or something. Or he's like about to start college. These people are legal adults now. Most of them are college students. Or they're about to join the workforce or something like that. Like, they're not teens anymore. So we don't have to treat them like that. It's like when everyone was saying, like, why are we still calling Matisse Wadi the kid when he's 22? Why are you calling these guys ninja teens when they're legal adults? And, like, most of them are my age. I'm 22. They're like, some of these guys are like a year or two younger than them. Jay Lewis. I talk to Jay every once in a while. I actually need to talk to him about something. He actually sent me a message and I haven't responded. Sorry, Jay. But he's like 20 or 21 or something like that. He's not. He started the show at 18 or something like that. He's not some 15-year-old kid anymore. Neither is basically anyone that we listed except for whatever, a few of them, I guess. But even then, some of these people that we're listing, they're high school seniors. They're about to transition into young adulthood and then eventually adulthood. So it's just really weird that people are still complaining about the teens, but then are associating not teenagers with that title. When I think of ninja teens, I think of people like Oliver Luttman, who's an actual teenager. Taylor Green is like 16. I can understand putting her in that group because she's a teenager. Phil Folsom, totally, sure. Jackson Erdos, he's a teenager. He's definitely a teenager. That's my thinking. I hope that makes sense. This is probably one of my more disorganized presentations, not gonna lie, but at the same time, I think it's stupid to complain that teens are a problem when they're all adults now. Like, and they even say it on the show. He started off on the show as a kid, and now he's got his driver's license, or now he's going to college, or now he's whatever. And like they acknowledge it on the show, and people just refuse to listen. Agreed, Amber. If all these people started back when the age limit was 21 or even 19, they would just show up as 19-year-old rookies or 21-year-old rookies and do the same exact stuff. So what difference does it really make? Number 4, A&W fans need to grow up. This one is about one specific moment, and it is about Vance winning the $1 million. Oh my gosh, the amount of times I saw people complaining that Vance didn't deserve the $1 million because he failed stage 2 and lost his race originally is ridiculously stupid. For one, I don't like the A&W 15 format. I'm not going to pretend that I like the A&W 15 format. I'm trying to get out of the light here. Whatever. I don't like the A&W 15 format. I know that I'm not the only person who hates the A&W 15 format. But at the end of the day, the rules of the game are the rules of the game. All these athletes played by the rules, including Vance, and Vance ended up winning the $1 million. It worked for him. On top of that, he also went into the runoff and cleared stage 2, so he did get a buzzer on every course anyways. You know who didn't do that? Daniel Gill, who failed on the falling shelves and then just, beat the 4. It doesn't matter how he fell. He only fell because he linked it. It doesn't matter. Actually, you know what, Teova? You're onto something. It does matter. Because Vance and Ethan were linking through there because they were racing. They were pushing pedal to the metal. Daniel fell on the falling shelves after his opponent, Isaiah Thomas, failed the bear traps. Daniel was going at his own pace, casually, whatever, and he was doing his thing. And Isaiah fell halfway through the course. The second half of the course was just the Daniel Gill show. And he still fell. Vance proceeds to, link and rush everything he messes up, but then he does it again. He wins. And he beats the course. He beats all 4 stages. And, that's it. But people are arguing that Daniel Gill should have had the $1 million. People are arguing that Vance Walker didn't deserve the win. He didn't deserve this. Blah, 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 blah. They need to grow up. They need to suck it up. Vance is the winner. Statistically, Vance did better. Time-wise, on the rope, Vance did better. He hit more buzzers. He had a better season overall. He did. And even without the stage 2 runoff, rerun, Daniel Gill fell in the semifinals. Vance did not. So, even then, Vance had a better season. Things like that. It's just really weird how people will nitpick. People will look for, a perfect season. They want another perfect season like Jeff Britton. I understand that. You want it to be a flawless run. You want that dominance, and I get it. But if you're going to complain about Vance, who maybe has a couple dents in his armor when it comes to the validity of his win, but not the guy who literally fell on one of the main stages and then still made it to the final stage and beat the rope, then you're stupid. It's a dumb argument, and it's an invalid argument, Yeah. So, just like that, that's just something I wanted to clarify, just specifically about Vance's win. Nothing about anything else in the bigger picture of Ninja Teens, but this is just something that bothered me, because the title of Ninja Teen very clearly affected how people reacted to Vance's win. And Daniel Gill, being a fan favorite, longtime veteran, not a teen, very clearly got more sympathy because of people's inherent biases. So, again, share this out to the world so they understand how wrong they are. I don't know how else to say that. They are wrong. Now, yes, Ninja Teens can be handled poorly. In ANW 13, one of the major things that I complained about was the fact that Ninja Teens were edited so bad. Every season for a while. From season 10 onward, ANW has always felt like they had like a new toy, a new gimmick, something new to show off. And season 10, it was the Mega Wall. Hey, look at our new Mega Wall. We're going to beat you over the head with the Mega Wall and bring it up every 5 minutes so you don't forget that we have the Mega Wall. And it's dumb. It was a little annoying, but the Mega Wall's cool. In season 11, it was, we have a new thing called the Power Tower, and we're going to shove the Power Tower down your throat all you want. Here you go, speed pass, safety pass, speed pass, safety pass. It was annoying, and people were annoyed by it. Season 12, the Power Tower playoff at the end for the $100,000. Over and over and over and over. Because the format had to change because of COVID, blah, 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 blah. Season 13, it was, look at our new teenage competitors on American Ninja Warrior every 2 minutes. Yes, it was annoying. I complained about that in my ANW 13 reviews back on my old channel. It was so artificial. It's not the competitor's fault. It was the editor's fault entirely. Another example, is Australia. In season 6 of Australian Ninja Warrior, they invited teens because they saw the success of teenagers in America, and immediately they lowered their age limit to 16. However, ANW 14 Teoma, they didn't really have a gimmick, so they kind of just treated everyone like a normal competitor, and it was much better. I think ANW 14 handled the teens way better than 13, and I would agree that season 15 also handled them pretty well. A stinking light from the blinds. Let me see if I can fix this. I'm just gonna lift up the blinds. So now it's just maybe it's just light. Nope, it's the top blinds. Okay, hold on. There we go. There we go. I'm probably gonna be super washed out right now. Yes, I am. But you know what? I actually don't know. There's no solution to this. Should I wear a hat? Let me get a hat. What's up, Casey? Okay, so it's a little better now. Sure. Australia's teens. Australia's teens were also shoved down the throat of the audience. And then also when it came time to race in the semifinals, the teens were put against each other. There's no seeding in Australia. The producers literally picked opponents based off of what they thought would create the most drama. They tried to make drama on Ninja Warrior. It was so dumb. Anyway, so they had the teens race each other because it meant that because a teen was racing a teen, that it guaranteed a teen to make it to stage 1. That was their whole system. It was so bad. So there are definitely ways that you can handle Ninja Teens poorly. And those are two very great examples. At the end of the day, we just need to appreciate these people. Because whatever frustrates you about Ninja Teens, it's probably not from the teens themselves. None of them are doing anything worthy of getting canceled. They're all doing a sport that they love, which is also a sport that we love. They're getting opportunities that they've earned, quite frankly. They're being coached by your favorite competitors, so I don't want to see any bias like, oh, we like Caillou Nagano because he's Makoto Nagano's son. Who cares? He's being coached by a ninja legend. So are these guys. I'm dead. I'm dead, Alex. Um, yeah, that's kind of all I really have to say about Ninja Teens. Let's just remember to not be biased. Remember to share this out to other people so they learn to not be biased. And and also remember that they're not teenagers. They are literally young adults at this point. There's a new generation of Ninja Teens being trained by multiple successful generations of Ninja Warrior competitors, so there is no reason to get upset. So I think a big reason the Sasuke teens are more loved is because they didn't dominate the results. Still a stupid reason. I guess, but I think it's also just because people have a boner for Sasuke. That's the best way I can describe it. People are just blindly obsessed with Sasuke no matter how good or bad it is, no matter what actually happens. The amount of people who watched my Sasuke 41 review and said, now I don't disagree with your claims, but I just choose to ignore it so I enjoy Sasuke, is actually in the double digits. And that's the unfortunate, disappointing part. If I block the sun like that, there we go. We'll block the sun like that so my eyes are covered. I look so cool and hip. Yeah. So agreed, Amber. That's a great way to describe it. At the end of the day, the Sasuke bias is real, but if you're gonna hate on the Sasuke people or whatever, or if you're not gonna hate on the Sasuke people, you have no reason to hate on the A&W people. Simple as that. Now I'm gonna open it up for discussion. Any questions, opposing opinions, stories to add into the topic of teen takeovers? Now is the time to do so. I did want to ask Alex, because Alex brought up entitlement a while back. He said, entitlement has always been bad in A&W. It was awful, all caps, among the walk-ons in like A&W 4 to 7. So I would love to hear more about how entitled the walk-on lines were in A&W. And if you don't know what the walk-on lines are in A&W, you are a fetus. See what anyone has to say. Alex possibly typing up. Well, I don't know what he means by entitlement, Teoma. That's why I'm waiting for Alex to respond. He'll throw that in the chat in a bit, hopefully. But if anyone else has anything to add in the meantime, feel free to go. Sure. Let me open up Discord real quick, Alex. And possibly unmute my Discord audio. Oh, and he sent me the honey thing for my throat. Thank you. Thank you. Alex. Hello.
That's funny.
Welcome back to Soapbox.
Billy vids.
Thank you.
First of all, really enjoyed the presentation. Really good stuff. I agree with basically everything you said. But since you asked me about the walk-on entitlement has always been a big problem in the Ninja fan community. Actually, in the Ninja community itself, it's not ever really been a problem. But back in like ANW 5 and 6 is where we started to get really 7. Wait, no, it was like 5, 6, 7 is where we really started to get a walk-on problem because we were having lines go up like past a week and people were walking on and not getting on. Literally ANW 4, the walk-ons were, hey guys, we need like 5 more people. Who wants to come? And they would just ask the audience, and one of them made the national finals, and then everybody's like, ooh, I want to do that.
Interesting. And
so,
then, yeah.
Go ahead.
I remember all the walk-on segments, and I was like, that looks really fun. But then you would get people saying, "Oh, it's like I've been in line for 3 weeks," and I can only imagine how entitled people would be about that. I can now understand why there would be tension or frustrations. I haven't given it much thought since it hasn't really been a thing for a while.
AW 10 Lucas Gomes was 44 days, didn't run.
That's rough, dude.
Mm-hmm.
44 days.
Greg, I'm sorry. Lucas and Greg both walked on in Miami, waited 27 days, didn't run. And then Greg flew right back from Vietnam to Minneapolis, waited 17 more days, and didn't run.
Yeah, no thank you. At least he got to do Vietnam, though.
Yeah, and to cut to the ending quickly before we go back, for those unaware, A&W 11, they started doing a lottery system, which was much better other than the random homeless people in Cincinnati that won and didn't show up.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Now, A&W, thankfully, was somewhat aware of their surroundings. And what they would often do is they would let the competitors essentially police themselves. And like about a week before, they'd have somebody come up and be like, "Hey, what's the line like?" They'd give a list of the line, and they're like, "Okay, here's the line, just go home, come back in a week." So nobody was like actually sitting and camping. Maybe in like A&W 2 and 3, I think James McGrath slept a couple nights in his car. But there's obviously laws about public camping in a lot of these places where the walk-on line occurs. So either you would show up and sit there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or a rep from the show would come a week before, check out the line, and just be like, "Okay, this is the line, you can go home." Because usually by the time they could only accept 25 people to come to the tapings at all, and usually they'd only run like 5 to 10. I think one time they ran like 23 or something crazy.
Jeez.
I think in Cincinnati they ran 13, and they were like hustling through because the steps had gotten really wet. And like, Kane, do you know Eric Woljavot?
I know the name.
Okay, he's a Midwest guy, so I see him all the time. But he was one of the last walk-ons and like completely ate it on the third step and went back and uploaded his run in slow-mo. And like you could see, like he straight up just, there was no traction on that third step because they didn't have time to dry it off. They just hustled through the remaining people. And again, that was, I think, a situation where they just like, some people showed, oh no, that was lottery. I'm sorry. That was the lottery season.
Oh.
But before there was the Ninja Masters, before right around the beginning of SMF.
Oh, okay. Way
right
back.
There was a. Did you tell me to wait?
No, I said way back.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a Facebook group called American Ninja Warrior Comrades, and that was the main like A&W quote unquote fan group.
Right.
There was largely athletes who wanted to get on the show, and the amount of salt in that thread or in that group was insanity. Now,
I remember I didn't join that group. I'm not gonna lie. I only got on Facebook like last year, but I think I joined that group and they accepted. And I do remember seeing something. I do remember seeing quite a bit like that.
I'm permabanned from that, actually.
Why? What did you do?
I'm sure I could. Well, that's my sentence. I eventually lost my crap at people for being entitled because, like, for 6 months of the year, it was either this show sucks, the editing sucks, or this show sucks because I waited in line for 4 days. I should get to be on instead of X other person. This is before they started inviting influencers. So I mean, they couldn't even blame that. This was just like random Joe Schmoes that didn't get called, or that got called over other random Joe Schmoes. And just the amount of salt of like, I deserve this more than someone else who, to an outside observer, deserves it equally.
Right.
So like that amount of entitlement in the walk-on community was so toxic, and it created a situation where the walk-on line got worse because like our friend Colin waited in St. Louis for 6 days and got on.
Right.
And then John Brown started showing up 3 weeks before, and people realized, oh crap, there's so much entitlement in this community that we need to take off a month from our lives and go camping in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so that we can maybe get onto a television show.
Right. Evan just...
And once that got worse, the entitlement got worse, because it's like, well, now I waited 21 days. I deserve to be on this show more than someone else.
I want to know how you feel about that, because Evan just said, like, I can completely understand being pretty upset if you stayed in the walk-on line for like 2 weeks and missed work and other stuff to compete and just don't. To me, I'm like, it's not a guarantee. The whole thing about walk-ons is that it's not a guarantee whatsoever. It's a maybe I'll get on the show if I wait. So the fact that they're upset about that, I mean, I can understand being bummed for sure. I don't know if I can understand being upset when that's a decision they made, knowing full well that it was not a guarantee that they would get on the show.
You're exactly right. You knew what you were getting into. You knew that when you showed up and you were behind John Brown, there was probably about a 40% chance of you actually getting onto the show. And you're not going to know until,
the end of the whole process.
Taping ends or 10 minutes before you run.
Right.
So, like, you knew what you were getting into when you got in that line. You knew what you were getting into when you started camping, and I can understand why you would be frustrated. But you can be frustrated without being entitled. You can be mad that you didn't get on without saying, I deserved this more than someone else, or they should have just let me on anyway. That's entitlement.
Yeah, that is definitely a problem. Amber said it perfectly. It's kind of like spending a bunch of money on lottery tickets and getting pissed off when you don't win.
Exactly. And to be clear, these were people with 2 to 3 weeks to kill. Like Greg Schwartz, to use an example, is a stuntman. So he gets paid for his work he'll go work really hard on a shoot for a while,
right,
and then have a couple of weeks off where he's waiting for work. So
right,
he can
afford the time,
his livelihood, to take 3 weeks out of his life. In a pre-COVID world where people couldn't work on their laptops, a lot of people didn't have that ability. Like, I didn't do the walk-on line in Cincinnati because I couldn't get a day off of work. I was already taking 3 days off of work to go watch Philip, and I'd do it again. And in fact, I would have, neither here nor there.
I know where you're going with that.
I literally couldn't get the Wednesday off that they were drawing the numbers. I could only get Thursday and Friday off to go down and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone 3 weeks to sit in a line. So, I mean, these are people, with time to kill.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you're risking your livelihood by taking all of your PTO for the year. It's just, they just
Oh man, I would actually be so mad if, like, I just straight up wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all.
Oh no,
I can never.
Not. It takes a special kind of insanity to do that.
Yeah.
But quickly answer your question, then we'll take some more chat questions. So somebody had gone on about entitlement, and I just lost my shit, and you're entitled to nothing. Which, I mean, I always say you're entitled to nothing in this life.
Yeah.
You're entitled to nothing. It is your choice, and you know what you're getting into. Like, let's be happy for the people that do get on the show. And my tone was not great. It was probably not my place to say it, but I was really frustrated, and I wanted to make American Ninja Warrior Comrades a more positive environment.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody commented that I needed to go to a nap time with my Binky, and I got banned and he didn't.
Bruh.
So my friends who were on, it was either Colin or Philip who reached out to the person who ran Comrades at the time, who, shocker, entitled Walk On, who, I just want to be clear, ran in Pittsburgh and didn't get to do snake crossing, and I did. So that was some vindication. I tested snake crossing in AW7.
That's actually
the only
that's
AW
awesome.
I've ever been on.
That's cool though. Karma.
Yeah, I mean, that was the last season before testing got really bad, and I had like no upper body strength. Like Mike McCalco from my gym went down to test Cincinnati and stayed there for 3 days and sat through 4 testing sessions and got to do 1 obstacle. Whereas, like, we all knew when we showed up we were at least going to get to... Now, I wanted to do the quad steps, but they didn't test the quad steps because they were the quad steps, and they sent, like, 2 people on rolling log to make sure it didn't derail.
Yeah.
And then I did snake crossing. I fell at, like, the second board. It was on the hardest setting. I fell on the second board when you had to tip it over. And I knew that I didn't have the upper body strength to do any of the other obstacles.
It's still cool though. Still an experience.
If you could tell me that, like, I would actually get to touch all of the obstacles, I'd love to do it again. But after that year, it was just never worth it.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so Philip or Colin went to the guy who ran it and was like, "Listen, can you unban Alex?" He, said he was sorry and he won't do it again. And he was like, he can come back on when he's 21, except I was 21. And then he's like, okay, well, he can get back on when he's on the show, except technically I had been on the show because I was a tester.
Right.
And this all happened while Philip was not 21 and not a tester and in the group. Yes, this is Alex.
This is Alex. Hi, Merite. What is up with the camera? There's this thing outside. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called the sun. It's pretty bright. And then yeah, that's Alex. Anyways, continue.
Hello. Yeah, Amber was there. Like, long story short, several years ago it died and just became like Pat Hall and a couple other people shilling like vitamin supplements or comps.
Fun.
So yeah, no, it like completely died. I think Ryan Stratus technically runs it now. Or he ran it for a time. I have no idea if he still does.
Well, that's a lot of fun. Any final thoughts on like Ninja Teens and whatnot?
I certainly understand. Well, I mean, first of all, yeah, the jealousy, and like I can understand from an editing perspective where people would be like, I would rather they highlight, Jamie Ron or Mike Bernardo instead of, this kid who just showed up. But like, that's just how the show has been edited since ANW 5 is they glance through veterans and people who do well in the opening rounds. Like, the qualifiers have been unwatchable for like almost 10 years. Just because if you do well in the later rounds, they have time to highlight you in the later rounds. And so in the opening rounds, they want to highlight people with good stories that they invite for their stories who didn't make the semifinals. And that makes it, really annoying to watch, especially for us as a fan. Mm-hmm. Now I've long accepted that, and I don't, I'm not sure how well people have adjusted to that, especially, given that not everyone in our circle of fandom has been watching since season 1 like we have, largely, because They weren't old enough to remember A&W 1 if they were alive at all.
Right.
Bless you, by the way. So, you know, if you can't accept that, then it's a lot easier to hate the teens because they're getting attention. If you do accept that, it's easy to not hate the teens because, you know, you're victimizing them for all of the reasons that you said.
Right. I personally would rather victimize them than villainize them, so that's just me.
Oh, I meant villainize. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, no, but I mean, that is kind of the predicament we're in. You either kind of end up victimizing them, being like, well, they're just trying to do what they can to be on TV so they can continue to do ninja on the biggest stage. Or you're villainizing them by saying that they're ruining the show because the people who, you know, hold the cameras want to hold it in front of them.
Merte made a point about all of his profiles are about his little brother with an illness. That's not a symptom of the teens. That's a symptom of NBC. I'm not even going to say that's a symptom of A&W. That's a symptom of NBC.
Yeah.
Because America's Got Talent does that exact same thing. The Olympics do that thing, and they get, deservedly so, 20 times the hate of when they do that on A&W.
Yeah.
It's just an NBC policy that they just highlight stories instead of people.
Yep. I also just don't understand how you can't root for them after those. Like, I feel like there are 3 different ways that people really end up deciding to root for an A&W competitor. It's either they go really far on the course, they have a very interesting story, or we see them grow up. I think that last one is like a huge thing. Like, you look at Joe Moravsky, like, we saw Joe's life every year. He was engaged, and then he was married, and then he was having a kid, and now he's got 3 kids and all this stuff. Like, we saw his life change over the and they highlighted that every single season. So we saw that, and people love Joe Moravsky, and then also he did very well. I don't understand why people don't feel the same way about a lot of these teens. You look at Vance Walker, he is literally exactly what NBC is looking for. He's incredibly dominant on the courses, especially if you take into account the A&W Junior stuff, which a lot of younger fans take into account, considering how, you know, A&W Junior is a lot of these people's gateway into A&W now. It's crazy. It was a whole generation's introduction to ninja. And then, at the same time, because of that, you can say that you've seen him grow. You can show that you've seen him grow. And then also, you have the story about Vance with his cerebral palsy that they obviously highlighted quite a bit. So I feel like it just covers every angle. Yet, half as many people root for Vance as they do for Joe. And it's a little confusing to me because I feel like there's something about Vance that's being promoted, at least, that different types of people can appreciate, and they're just not. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, and we haven't really seen Vance, quote unquote, grow up yet because it's still easy to see him as a kid. Shoot, I was just thinking today about how, in a way, I still see myself as a kid, and I'm 30. Like, we have not seen Vance Walker get married and have children and get a civilian job. True. Which, you know, hopefully he never has to get a civilian job and, you know, becomes a pro ninja. And part of my other point is, like, yes, teens have way more time to train because, you know, they may or may not be going to school and they just, you know, go home and train for 8 hours a day. And, you know, it's a lot harder to do that when you have a full-time job. But part of what you and I are doing in our real-life full-time jobs is building a community or a system, words not coming to me, of infrastructure for which adults will have that opportunity where they can train like professional athletes. Like, Who is a good ninja with like? It's hard to think of good ninjas with civilian jobs now, but like,
That is tough. Um,
I, I'll even use Daniel Gill as an example. Like,
Daniel Gill is a
he doesn't
motivational
really
speaker.
have like a quote unquote full time job, but he has a lot of commitments with, appearances and Alyssa Beard, great
Alyssa
example.
Beard, yeah,
She's
okay.
a teacher.
She's a teacher, yeah.
She has like no time to train, still manages to find like I was talking to Alyssa once and she was describing her schedule about like waking up at 6 a.m., going to school, teaching, grading papers, leaving at 6 p.m., driving to action an hour, training, driving an hour home and going to bed, and that was her life during the school year.
Yeah, that's
Like,
nuts.
imagine how good of an athlete Alyssa Beard would be
if she had more
if
time.
she trained for 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, she would be awesome, and I want to see a world in which she has that ability if she so chooses.
Right. I completely agree. It's pretty crazy. Also, Ethan's in the chat. Ooh, which Ethan are we talking about? Is this Gardulski? There's been some.
I assume
I would assume Gardulski as well.
The
hi,
finances
Ethan.
thing.
Yeah, I wanna touch on that, but first I know.
I'm sorry.
They bumped down promoting Vance's cerebral palsy a lot since A&W Junior 2. I agree they have, but they also proceeded to promote it a lot more when he climbed the rope. And that was like literally the headline for multiple articles that a 18-year-old with cerebral palsy won $1 million on A&W. That was like the tagline.
It's a great story. It gets more clicks.
It is. Evan says
it like genuinely is a fantastic story.
It is a very good story. And when he was crying as he held the trophy, like I felt that. I felt it because he genuinely wanted it, and it was a dream for him. It was awesome.
And he worked his ass off.
Oh yeah.
Like, he started with more than a lot of other people, and I mean that's just like literally life. Like, I acknowledge that I started with stuff in my life that got me to where I am today. I still worked for a lot of it.
Right.
Like, my parents had nothing growing up, and their parents and my parents worked hard to get to where they are now. Like, you can get everything, but you will still have to work hard to get it. Like, you can't. Your parents can't build you $1 million, and it wasn't $1 million.
You can only be given
$100,000
ninja. You can only be given so much before you have to actually have to work for it.
I will never ever mention names, but there are kids who get everything and either don't work hard or don't have the talent, and they're just not good. Like, if they worked hard and had the talent, they're
not going to get as far as they want.
You have the ability to train 8 hours a day, but you still have to train 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's not easy.
Exactly. Evan said he didn't mind some edits about a backstory. I'm going way back. For example, the Garamores, he says is a really good success story, is what NBC is looking for. I agree. I think they handled both of them very well. At least on A&W 15. It was a little heavy-handed on A&W Junior, but I don't think he watched that. No. Amber said something that Ethan later responded to. I don't know if it's just me, but I think it's really weird how a lot of people will speculate about the finances of the teens and their families and make random claims that they are spoiled in their daily lives. Ethan then went on to say, as a teen A&W competitor, the finances thing pisses me off, to be honest. And I mean... Go ahead. You take it.
I mean, that's definitely not true of everyone. Like, there are definitely teen competitors who have nothing, and, are still at or close to the level where Kaden and Vance are with loaded parents. Like, it is obviously harder to root for someone who started out with more than someone else. Like, that's literally just, like,
a nature of life.
Yeah. It's like how
In
it's
every
it's
facet of
kind of
life.
human nature for people to root for the underdogs. So
Of course.
I can understand why some people would want to root for someone who had to maybe take a few more steps in their process. But like you were saying, I mean, the work is the work, and regardless of if someone's parents were so rich that they were able to build, they were able to build their kid a rig in their backyard and then also get them a gym membership, and then they'd fly them out to whatever competition they wanted when they got that good, versus someone who doesn't have parents that rich, and he just decides, he or she, that athlete decides, I want my sport to just be ninja, and the parents, even if they don't have as many resources at their disposal, decide to provide those resources for ninja, even if it's just train at a gym. From that point on, regardless of what your resources are, if you have access to those obstacles in general, it really does come down to how hard you're working. And
Right.
at that point, it doesn't
And
matter about your background.
yeah, exactly. Like, I can certainly understand why Ethan might feel slighted about that. I know Ethan decently well. I have no idea how much his parents make. But like, if I'm not mistaken, Ethan, I don't think you have a backyard rig, and obviously nothing along the lines of Vance. Like, every time I see you train, it's either at Phillips rig, which
Or at Grips.
is very nice, but not to the level of a Vance Walker or an Addie Herman backyard rig.
Right.
And I don't think he's trying to. I think Philip ultimately just wants something to play on. And I see you train a lot at Grips, so like, still have to go into the gym to train. It's not like you can just be like, okay, I'm just gonna pop into the backyard for 5 minutes and then go back to playing video game. Like, I can certainly understand why you might feel slighted by that, and I hope I haven't gone too far into your personal matters, but small little thing in your
And
garage.
Grips.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if
I'll
I
leave.
owned
I
a
have
home,
a
I would
better
absolutely build something like that. I can't in my apartment because it's an apartment, and that's against the lease of my apartment. But I would absolutely build something in my garage or my basement if I had a house.
I have a very good example here that I think we can use pretty well. Easton, East the Beast, the little kid that's gone viral for all of his ninja moves. Incredibly talented ninja, right? Works his butt off. You guys have probably seen his stuff where he trains at Jungle Gym, which is Caleb Bergstrom's gym, and then you've probably seen some stuff where he's training in his backyard rig, and that was made. Who knows Who knows who made it? At the end of the day, his parents had to pay for that. And so he's got a lot of very valuable resources for ninja. He's got good coaches. He's got a membership at a gym. He's got his own stuff at home, so if he can't make it out, he can train at home. He works his butt off, and he trains super hard, super talented, and at the World Championships at WNL, he got 23rd place. And I only remember that because someone brought it up like last week on the Discord. He got 23rd place. Very impressive, especially considering his division has like 250 to 300 athletes. Super, super high ranking. There's a kid that trains at Level Up, same age division as Easton. All he does is come to Level Up like twice a week. They can't really travel anywhere the same way Easton does because he is one of 4 children in his family. And it's just Level Up. They don't have a backyard rig. They don't have stuff like that. They show up. They train hard 2 times in like organized practices and then 2 to 3 more times during open gym. So still getting almost daily training, similar to Easton, and this same kid got 9th place at the World Championship. So at the end of the day, like, your resources do not fully define your level of success. It's going to come down to the work.
100%.
Easton and this kid from Level Up, who I'm not really going to name because he's much more private than that, they're incredibly successful, and it was incredibly hard work for both of them. But just because Easton has more toys to play with doesn't always mean that he's automatically going to be better. Do I see a scenario where he ends up beating that kid from Level Up? Absolutely. But do I see it where it's the other way around? Of course. There's no sure way of telling. And the same applies not just to kids, but it applies to the adults. It applies to, the elites, the teens, the masters division even. That's huge.
Side note, I did not realize Eat the Beast had 1 million followers. And also,
Really?
Oxinator was talking 1 million followers on Instagram. I mean, just now found this out.
Dude,
57,000 on YouTube, although almost never posts, and none of these videos have more than 1,000 views, so I don't know how that happened. Literally, not a single video of his has over 1,000 views, and he has 57,000 subscribers. So I don't know, maybe they're paying for subs.
Oh, maybe it's the bots that kind of just found him. I don't know.
We were talking about it in VC, and Oxinator brought him up, and literally the next day, and this is like within the last week, my dad sent me an email, and my dad never emails me. Like, he will text me and I love my dad and I talk to him a lot, don't worry, but like, we are just not talkative men. And
Right.
So he'll like text me like once a week during the Steelers game. Like, he never emails me. And he sends me an email just in all caps, watch this. And it's a Facebook reel of East the Beast with, for some reason, subtitles in Turkish. It was hilarious.
That makes it even better. I hope he like claimed his royalties for those videos, man. Because like, he's like 7 or 8.
Easton and his family are making bank off of.
Oh, they have to be. Like, I really hope that they jumped on the royalties for whatever videos, whatever apps that, whatever their monetization things are for Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I really hope that they jumped on that early, because that kid could be set up for college right now. Yeah.
I'm sure of it. Like, I saw that backyard rig. It's, pretty impressive.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to think of like how much you would have to spend on building that. I feel like that can't be more than 10 grand.
No.
I mean, which still 10 grand is a lot for some people. I feel like, I don't know lumber prices, but that's probably closer to like 3 to 5. You're 100% making that off of the royalties from bills.
Yeah. Evan said it goes back to the whole there is no GOAT thing, where the only thing that matters is who has the better day on that day. I would agree.
Agreed. I was talking with Bookcase yesterday about like how we're like the one sport where your run can end in 5 seconds, although there are a couple others.
There are a couple others,
I
but
mentioned like auto racing is one. But like, yeah, any given day, anyone can win, which makes our sport very fun to watch.
Yeah, it could be anybody at any time.
I'm sure it's a little annoying to compete in, and you feel like you were better than someone on that day, and you still finished in 150th. And we brought that up as a major concern when we were talking about like worlds scheduling and format, and that's something you and I can talk about later.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that in one of our team meetings, but if you're not up on, long story, everybody, we thought about making a change to the world's format and thought better of it.
Thank goodness. Are we going with the one that you proposed, by the way, without giving away details?
I think Chris sent the most recent schedule. It kind of in between what I was saying and what Chris was saying, because like I ran all of the numbers and projections, and like we were never going to be able to get everything we wanted, and so we decided to be a little bit more safe, something that the community would still really respond well to.
Mm-hmm.
And as I pointed out to him, like, and I probably shouldn't say this in public, but I'm going to anyway, like, you can underpromise and overdeliver. You can't overpromise and underdeliver. Like if we decided one year, all right, Worlds is 5 stages, and everybody gets to run all 5 stages, and the winner gets $100,000.
I would quit on the spot.
And then the
I'm
following,
just letting you know that if that ever
and
happened, I would quit on the spot.
But my point is, from a athlete perspective, it's like, wow, I get 5 guaranteed courses and a lot of money if I win.
Right.
And then you went back to the current format of Worlds, everybody would lose it. Whereas if you just stayed at the current format of Worlds in the first place, nobody's going to get mad because you didn't promise them stuff that you're not going to give them anymore.
Right.
It's so much easier to give over time than it is to give all at once and then take away. And so I think that kind of got through to him, and we kind of met in the middle while keeping the linear format of Worlds. Because I just, Evan, you were the first person I thought of, just because I know that you're very vocal about such things. But like, as we're talking about not doing a linear format at Worlds, I'm like, oh my God, Evan is going to lose his mind. But we are keeping the linear format of Worlds. It will look largely the same as last year.
Yeah.
We did talk about changing it, but I think we came up with the solution that is more athlete friendly, but still keeps the core tenets of the World Championship.
I'm very happy with what we have, and that is not what was originally proposed. I was really hoping for the best. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we found some time in the budget. I'm not. Let's not say that out loud because
no. I'm not saying anything out loud. I'm not showing that. Nothing like that.
But yeah, because I don't. If we do end up going back on that,
yeah,
I don't want to be the one who gets shot.
That's fair. That's fair. Interesting.
I'm not sure we go that far, but
I kind of like my chances right now when it comes to Worlds. I don't know. And the nice thing is, thank goodness, every time that there was one meeting where Philip was talking to Greg about Worlds obstacles specifically. I walked out. I was like, I'm not doing this. I can't, I'm going to compete and I can't know about the course beforehand. And I was just like,
I will just say off the top, actually, I'm not even going to say it for risk of anyone trying to grasp anything of it.
Fair.
I have some, no, I'm not even going to finish that sentence,
okay.
But I have seen the World's course. I've been in the room for the discussions.
Ooh, nice.
And I'm obviously not going to say anything to you.
Right.
Because, competitive integrity.
Right.
I remember the first time I knew the World's course, I wouldn't even tell Kyle, our friend Kyle Foley.
Right.
One day, a couple weeks, he pried 1.1 and 1.2 out of me. And I think I told him about wingdings because it was, an obstacle that I had worked hard on and was really proud of. Mm-hmm. And the years after, I pretty much just told him the entire course because who was he going to tell you? Yeah. And obviously Philip, no longer being a competitor, is very privy to all of these conversations and likes this side of the camera way more. And I always tell people, don't come on this side of the camera because you're not going to want to go back to compete.
I feel a bit of a pull doing both. There's kind of things where I'm like, no, I really enjoy being part of the team and not having to worry about competition and stuff like that. But then there's the other part of me that's still I've wanted to compete in competitions. I've wanted to do these obstacles since I was a little kid, and I have definitely not gotten all of that out of my system, not by a long shot.
Right.
So
I kind of want to get back into doing tier 2s next year. These past few years have just been kind of bad with last season was a complete wipe for me because I got really sick and just scheduling concerns have made it really difficult for me to go to the gym. But now that stuff is starting to settle down in my life, I'm going to try to start going to the gym more, and hopefully by September I'd feel comfortable competing at tier 2. I don't think I'd ever compete in tier 1 And like now having like full course and challenge course makes it a lot easier because I would never do a tier 1 even when I was training regularly because I didn't want to fail the second obstacle and pay $60. Like I probably would do a full course tier 1 if I was at a level where I felt like I could compete in a tier 2. But like I I kind of want to like I could see myself competing in a tier 2. I would never compete in tier 1 just because I'm not good enough. And at the same time, if I went an entire Worlds year without knowing the course or without doing any of the setup, I would go insane.
I honestly, I'm really enjoying competing in tier 1s. It's been a lot of fun. I do want to end up trying the Ninja Carolina League at some point. Probably not this season. Coming off of a wedding and knowing that I still have travel plans and whatnot, and WNL that I want to compete in and whatnot, financially it just doesn't work.
Right.
But hopefully next season, Ninja Carolina League, I can get into that. My goal, honestly, is within like 3 years, hopefully less. 2 if I'm really, really ambitious about it. It's just tough to kind of settle into a schedule sometimes. I would like to be in elites. And actually like be able to hang with elites. That's the big goal for me. I'm glad I have a part-time coaching job for Ninja and I'm super happy about it. And really it's like I'm coaching kids who are at a tier 2 level or below and it's their first time touching an obstacle and I'm like, yeah, I can totally coach those people because you know I can teach people how to lâcher. I can explain that stuff. I can demonstrate. But when it comes to the more complicated things, I want to be able to do them, feel how it is to make those movements and understand it, and then be able to explain it better. I'm very good at. I am gonna kind of brag a little bit here. I think I'm very good at explaining how your body moves in Ninja to people, and it's understandable and it's easy to break down. It's just that there are a whole bunch of moves that I still don't know how to do, and so eventually I want to get to that point where I can do the elites, do the harder courses, start throwing bigger moves, be strong enough to do all of that stuff, understand what it takes to be an elite ninja, and then hope for the best. Try to tussle with the best. That would be kind of fun. That's the other thing. I
For
just
sure.
I feel like I can only get better, if the best are pushing me. And currently right now I'm being pushed plenty. In the southeast region specifically, I've got the reigning adult champ Henry Ktrek in my region. And with that comes a lot of very competitive people, Josh Brown, Matt Kalans, like so many good ninjas. And I'm being pushed, and when I start to feel like I'm not being pushed, which could be years from now, could be next year, who knows, whatever, then I'll want to go to elite and try it.
Yeah, it's totally understandable. Like you obviously have a lot more athletic talent than I do, like being a runner in high school and whatnot. Whereas I have, zero athletic genes. And the last time I tried running, I slowly jogged half a mile and then dry heaved for an hour.
Well,
but
I'm excited.
Yeah, I can certainly understand, like, if you have that athletic prowess that, going to elite would be a lot more fun and a lot more rewarding experience.
Right. I'm happy with adult though. Again, I'm being pushed plenty right now. Something that we had our first team practice at Level Up to like prepare specifically for Worlds, and I definitely feel like I have all of the tangible skills. Of course, certain things need to grow and whatnot. The big thing that did me in, because we were running speed courses, on my last run, I wasn't gassed because I was like the last obstacle. It was an 8-foot bar, like it was an 8-foot lache to a bar, and then 3 feet up and no 2 feet up and like 2 feet out to a cliffhanger, and then a cliffhanger you drop down to a throwback, and then you lache to another bar, and then you dismount. And I linked the whole thing, and so I was like, I'm not tired. I just didn't know when to take a breath, and so I wasn't rushing. I should have just taken that half second to like breathe, because then the bigger moves started to get harder for me, and I almost peeled off, and like simple obstacles that I should have beaten in my sleep, I was failing because I was just not pacing myself properly. So there's still definitely a large learning curve for me. I'm excited to see how it goes, but I think I have a goal of a stage 1 buzzer at Worlds, and I think that I have a very good shot at doing that, at accomplishing that goal. Of course, the big goal would be to win, but I'm gonna take it one stage, one obstacle at a time.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, obviously, everybody shows up to win, but if you show up only to win and then
lose.
Right, only one person can win. A lot of people can hit a buzzer.
Right. I really want the buzzer, and then honestly, from there, stage 2 would be interesting to try. I think a buzzer on stage 1, of course, it does wonders for your confidence if you hit a buzzer. So obviously, if I hit a buzzer on stage 1, I'd probably go in feeling a little more confident on stage 2 than I would if I were to fail and then advance to stage 2 off of like strongest ninja points. Obviously, my mindset would be different. But
it's still an accomplishment.
It's still an accomplishment, but of course, buzzers. And
well, yes.
And also, I am, an OG ninja fan. Sasuke was my introduction. Of course, I'm gonna want the buzzers on all the stages and whatnot. I feel like that's just kind of rooted into my brain whenever I hear stages. I've never gotten to try anything where it's like, never gotten to try anything with stages. Not yet. I was really hoping that Tier 2 Worlds would be kind of like that, and then it turned out to be flow course, full course skills, which wasn't bad. I definitely had a great time, but of course I was kind of hoping for at least like a 2-stage competition.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm not personally a fan of the Tier 2 format. Obviously, like that, it was built the one season that I wasn't there, and so I had no say over it. Yeah.
I wish it was a little different, but at the same time, I kind of like it because as a prerequisite to Worlds, like this is from like my personal experience. Chris was like, "Congratulations, Kane! You also qualified for the Tier 1 World Championships. It's going to be in 2 months." And immediately I was like, "I'm not doing it." Because 2 months to get better at ninja, I mean, you could learn a good amount of technique. But the conditioning and stuff, I knew that my schedule just would not allow me to have the time for that. At the end of the 2 courses and 2 skills, Alex, I was exhausted. I was completely gassed. Halfway through the last course, the full course, the 3rd obstacle of that course was a cliffhanger, and it was all right. Like the grabs weren't anything crazy, the ledges weren't anything super small. It was doable. I beat it, but I was like, oh my gosh, I just did a sprint. I did a skill where I had to link laches to get the podium. I did a speed course, and now I'm doing all this pumpy stuff. I'm gassed. And I'm really happy with how I did at Tier 2, but that was also like my sign of like, I should not do Tier 1 yet. Because there's twice as many courses and skills, and I'm not going to be conditioned enough for that. I'd be spending my money to essentially die.
Right.
And so I think that it's really good in the sense of it tells you where you're at in the grand scheme of things. As a prerequisite to the Tier 1 World Championship in a way, it's definitely one of those things where I'm grateful for both the opportunity to compete. I felt like I was able to show and push to my limits. I got to show all my abilities. And I also got to see bigger picture, how far away am I to the next big thing? And so I can appreciate it from that standpoint. I think if you started, if you did a stage format and you DQ'd people on stage 1, you put them out of contention and they can't run stage 2 or something like that. I don't think people get that experience and that knowledge that they would have for themselves. Yeah. And Merte, to clarify, I have now done 2 tier 1 competitions. I am fully a tier 1 athlete now. My next competition is going to be in 2 weeks. I'm going to go to Motive. I'm so excited. I haven't been to Motive yet. So, I'm super excited.
Only other time we were at Motive was NSC, right?
No, that was at Rock Solid.
Wait, have you never been to Motive?
I've never been to Motive. So get this. There was a competition in Motive, and I wanted to go to there was a tier 2, and Kane Malden went, and I wanted to go, but the schedule didn't line up. And then I don't even think I was living there at the time. And then there was a tier 1 competition, and I was like, it was within a month of me moving, so I knew that I was not ready for a tier 1. And then I was going to go in May to the tier 1 regional just to support my friends. I wanted to check it out, and I figured there'd be a whole bunch of people. It'd be a really cool atmosphere to be in. And then I got sick.
That's right. I remember that.
And then I wanted to go in person for Premier Series. Was not able to.
Right.
And so,
yeah, I mean, we were all under NDA and
Yes.
couldn't say it, but yeah, none of us were actually there.
Yeah, commentator.
I don't know if Chris ever
everybody...
ended up making you guys sign anything. I never had to sign anything.
No, I never had to sign anything. Commentator-wise, for those who didn't know, our commentary was remote, so I had to stay at home. Otherwise, if I was there doing commentary in person, I would have been about 5 to 10 seconds ahead of the people who were doing commentary remotely, and that would have been an absolute mess.
To be fair, I would have shown up and done it in person if we were doing in person mode. I fought so hard, Mary and I both, to do commentary in person at finals.
I really would have loved that. I would have absolutely loved that. Man, bummer I couldn't help with finals. But yeah, so this is going to be my first time at Motive, and I'm really nervous and I'm really excited. The other time Motive had a competition was when I was gone for my wedding. So I was not going to obviously do any of that. So...
Right.
I'm so excited. And I'm just glad that I get to do something at Motive before regionals. I don't want the first time I go to that gym to be at regionals when I'm trying to qualify for Worlds. I'm going to have to earn my qualification through Worlds. I just realized what I said. That's incredible. But to be fair, Motive didn't bother to keep the secret either. So, anyways.
I'm sorry, Motive didn't keep the secret of what?
Where regionals are for this Southeast region.
Oh. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just glad that I'm gonna have some experience over there. The other gym that I really want to go to is NYX over in Georgia. It's a longer drive though, but I would love to go. Michael Johnson's big old gym.
Yeah. And the World Chase Tag rig. They've been doing a lot of World Chase Tag stuff there. I want to go.
I would love to see that
next time Dexterity does a comp, because like I'm
another place I really want to go.
From Dexter.
Dexterity is another place I really want to go, but I don't know. Of the gyms that are close, you want to go to Ninja Spirit or Stuntwork Crefeld. You know what you should do, Merita? You should talk to them and tell them to respond to the email I sent about inviting them to the WNL. Both of them.
I was about to ask you last night if you had reached out to any gyms in Japan, what the odds were that we could get Fishers. which I'm sure is not. It's more of a joking comment.
Definitely. There's one gym. There's one gym that I did extend an invite to in Japan, and I think they are the only place in Japan that has wingnuts. It's pretty sick.
Nice.
I found out about it through this kid, Ryohei Yamamoto. Incredible ninja. Should definitely check him out if you haven't already. He essentially trains for Sasuke. You know, he can crank. He has a video where he does like 15 crazy cliffhanger transfers in a row. But then he also has a video where he's like, "Here's my 15-foot lache, and I made skyhooks, and he made throwback, dude. Like he's in touch. He went to UNAA last year, and I really want to get him to come over to WNL, but there has to be a comp in Japan that will get him there, or some sort of special
international
event.
qualifier.
Yeah, or some sort of special event that can get him out. Like he went to Malaysia. That's how he qualified for UNAA. He did the competition in Malaysia with like Matt Redho and all them. So obviously he's okay to fly every once in a while, but hopefully I'd like to get him to fly for WNL, something WNL related. And I have a couple blips on my radar, that's for sure. And I'm trying to make it work. Trying to also predict where I think he's going to be next. Certain competition in Taiwan that I would like to have as a special event. But I need to talk to them, and I need to talk to Chris, and I need to talk to everybody. I also, there's a lot. But so Ryohei, anyways, super insanely good. I think he would do great on Sasuke, and then I think he would do great, I don't know about the Elite Division or anything yet, but I think he would do great in, like, I believe he would be in young adults, and I think he would do really well in there. Yes, Mick.
It definitely sounds like it. Amber and I and Philip were talking the other day about like, and this kind of ties back into the theme of this live stream in the first place. Like if Yusuke came over here and trained like even for a week or less, and like say he came with you to level up and train for 3 days, I think he would win worlds. Like, I think a lot of the people over there in Japan just don't win stuff internationally because they're not exposed to the stuff that we are. They certainly have the talent. Maybe they don't necessarily have the size because, you know, Japanese men are just shorter than American men on average. That's not racist. It's just statistics.
Yeah, that is the
and a lot of American obstacles require you to be taller.
Right.
Because we are taller. But like if you brought Yusuke over here and like let him play on
if you taught Yusuke how to lache, period, from there that dude would just go crazy because then he'd be like, oh, and then I can do it sideways. Oh, and then I can learn to link, and then I totally get what you're saying.
Jun Sato would be like so good at an American style stage 1.
That would be so fun. I stand by the fact that I believe that Kane Kasugi could podium in the Masters division if he came over to compete.
I agree. I think Nagano could.
Could.
Maybe not anymore, but
at a time. But I always talk about how like Kane has professional trainers. He has the resources. He has the money. He was a Hollywood actor. Everybody. He's got some money. And he's able to have, personal trainers that will push him to the appropriate limit. He injured his Achilles because he was training not with them. He was running too hard on a Sasuke course at Geos. Like he overworked that. I think with that said, if you taught him how to lache quickly, I think he would be an absolute unit in the Masters division because he has all the other tangibles. Evan says, speaking of Yusuke, Kane, you told me that he's essentially the OG ninja team. That's because he is.
I have no complaints with that. He was what, 14, 15 when he did Sasuke the first time?
Yep. And he had the replicas of the obstacles already in his backyard, and he was trying his best for whatever. He was in high school in his rock climbing club, and then proceeded to make a couple replicas of Sasuke obstacles. Like, that's as well prepared as you could get in Japan. Yeah. Merte, I said I think Kane and Kasugi could podium in the Masters division of WNL.
Yeah, definitely not the Elite division.
Definitely not Elite, no.
I think Yusuke could.
He is 50 years old, so that is not... Or he's going to be 50 years old, so that is just not... I'm never going to say that Kane Kasugi would podium in the same division as Jay Lewis and everyone else.
Correct. I guess Kota Honma to an extent would be the OG Ninja team, or Reina Higashi.
Yeah.
Both of those would be good
Honma.
candidates, although very different skill sets to a modern competition.
You could also say Tada. He started very young.
That's true. And I mean, he had the whole like warehouse setup and stuff like right around when David Campbell did. So they kind of both covered that market.
Yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, Merta, he did say he wanted to cons him by 50. Not that I really love his ambition. I figured stage 3 was kind of in the cards for him. But especially after this injury, I don't think a win by 50 is doable.
He doesn't beat Burst.
No. I don't think he gets Dimension.
No, I was going to say, he probably doesn't get Dimension, but in the off chance he gets Dimension, he doesn't Burst.
Agreed.
I mean, what, Araki failed Dimension this time, Yoshiyuki failed Dimension this time.
Araki failed the Sidewinder.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Araki
has kind of been jobbing on stage 3 lately.
I don't understand. Araki's been jobbing in his whole career, man. Like
Araki is like the modern day Shinya Kishimoto, although
pretty much.
Kishimoto is kind
Araki's
of different.
biggest accomplishment is making the final stage in Sasuke Vietnam with 11 other people. That is literally the biggest moment in his career.
Oh, Araki's never beat Cliffhanger. For some reason, I thought he got to Vertical Limit once.
I thought so too. In fact, when I did the voiceover for Sasuke 36 G4, I said that and had to re-record it because I was wrong.
He hadn't even beaten the first stage at that point.
No, for 36, that was when he made it to the Ultra Crazy.
Oh, you said that he made it to the Vertical Limit in 36.
Oh yeah, no, he didn't. I see. That's what I said. I thought so, and then I had to re-record it because Billy was like, "Hey, I'm editing this right now, and you're wrong."
Yeah. Hedgehog, Double Pendulum, Dragon Glider, Ultra Crazy Cliffhanger, Fishbone, Reverse Conveyor, Niren Soitatsukabe, Cliff Dimension, Sidewinder. What a stupid career.
It's ridiculous. And then you look at his one overseas competition, and it's the final stage.
Sasuke 2 was not particularly difficult.
No, it was not.
Like,
Mike Bernardo
all due respect, like, Mike Bernardo was one of those 12, and he fights me constantly when I call him a Sasuke finalist.
Dude, I know I've told this story before. I don't know if you've heard it, but the amount I fought him once in DMs about what a Sasuke champion is. Because
I'm sure you have mentioned that, and I have fought him multiple times. I fought Greg. I think I've told you this story, but I've definitely never told chat this story. I fought Greg Schwartz on it the day before the opening ceremony at Worlds this past season.
Bruh.
Because he was writing the Nagano Sportsmanship Award speech and tried to dance around saying Sasuke. And so he said less than 10 people had ever beaten Sasuke, counting only Sasuke and A&W. And I'm like, how can you count Sasuke and A&W but not Vietnam? And Greg was there for Vietnam, so
Yeah.
you know And then he said that he didn't count like France and Germany because they were only 3 stages. And like, I can pull up video. Germany's 4 stages now,
Yeah.
and Renee and Moritz beat it in 2022.
Yep.
So like, but by that logic, if you're counting 4 stages and you don't count France because it's a split second, third, or a combined second, third stage, you have to count Germany by
Yep.
that logic.
And you, by
Like,
that extension as
At a
well,
point, you're
you have to count Israel and Australia. Like, it's all just,
yes.
yeah. There's too much. There's too much.
And at that point, we just gave up and didn't pick a number. 2020, really 21? Oh yeah,
2021
for some, I was
Renee
thinking
and Moritz,
Philip
yeah.
Gothert was this year.
Yeah,
it's
Renee Castro
only been
start,
2 weeks.
If
Yeah,
Renee
you're
would
right.
start taking Cliffs and VL seriously, he could potentially Kanzen. Maybe in Germany, I could see it. I don't think Sasuke.
Final stage is really hard, you guys.
Philip showed that I think Philip showed that it's a doable stage though. Philip messed up twice on that salmon ladder. And then proceeded to have the worst transition from the bar to the rope of all time. And then still got within striking distance of the buzzer.
That was a joke third stage, and they should be embarrassed that only one person beat it.
They should be.
Maybe that was okay, that was a little too harsh, but like it was way too easy of a third stage for only one person to beat it in 2023.
Yep.
If you put that stage 3, like if you put this course on A&W and let 100 A&W people beat it, legitimately I think 80 people make the final.
Pretty much. Yeah, you can tell
like it's it was that easy, and they just choked that hard.
You can tell that the budget cuts hit them pretty hard this season.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So that's a bummer. But
that third stage was just embarrassing to look at. It was an embarrassing course, and like Yona, Sandra, like I don't know how good Yona and Sandro are, but like how the hell did Lucas Homan fail hopscotch?
Yona's cracked, bro. Yona's actually insane. Sandro's also very good, but Yona's crazy. I don't know. I don't understand how they all failed that cliffhanger. I know that like 90-degree turn isn't always the most like, I don't know. It's not the greatest. Merte, it's not good tech, because if you look at what he posted on his training, when he does the muscle up from the bar to the rope is in front of the salmon ladder. So he can do the muscle up, reach forward, and climb up. But on the show, it is behind the salmon ladder. So he did the muscle up, and then he had to reach backward, which is dumb, and even tougher when you're harnessed. So it was like either backward or it was straight above him, not forward. And so he was training that movement only for it to be different. And it's like the best way to do it is to do exactly what Yusuke did. You need to reach for the bar, grab the rope, pull yourself up, hook your leg over the bar so you can stand yourself up, give yourself a jump when you're climbing the rope. He had 12 seconds when he got to the rope. 12 seconds to climb that rope is plenty of time, but he wasted 4 or 5 of those seconds doing that muscle up. And he messed up twice on that salmon ladder. So that final stage is definitely doable. 100%.
Do we have any idea how fast Jay did it? I know they didn't put up a timer.
Jay did it in 35 seconds. But the salmon ladder rungs were just a foot apart. Whereas on the final stage it's 18 inches apart for the actual regular season. So
okay,
like
that would make a difference.
The salmon ladder is genuinely, it's salmon ladder Judon, because it's not 15 rungs, it's 10, with 18-inch gaps. Jay and the celebrities who did it in the celebrity specials, those are 12-inch gaps.
It does kind of irritate me that Sasuke and I think even Germany said it's like 32 meters, or people thought it was a 25-meter tower. They were measuring like literally the top of the scaffolding to the ground.
Yeah. What's 180 inches in feet? 180 divided by 12. So the
15.
salmon ladder itself is 15 feet, which is what, 5 meters?
Not even 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 meters.
Kane, I told you about the 20-foot worked wall, right? That story.
Yes. I don't. What was I gonna say? I feel like I was gonna bring something up about. The one thing that I will say that the German community, like, I was like, oh, I'm not a fan of this, is when they changed the final stage and Max and Moritz didn't even get to the rope and they were like 30 seconds and then they just immediately said, without any, solid run up the final, they just immediately said, it's impossible. They need to change the time limit. And they just kind of said, yeah, no one's going to beat this. And then a year later, Philip does it and could have had it had he just not done a muscle up. I genuinely believe that when Renee gets there, he will beat it. And I say when because I have a feeling with the budget cuts, he's going to get there at some point because the courses will not necessarily be harder. They'll be tough, but he'll get there. If I looked at his fail when I rewatched the finale, and when he went for the last transfer, his ring finger and his pinky on his left hand slid off the edge of the ledge. So he was trying to do a little pop and turn with 1.5 of his hands, and he just didn't get the power to go far enough forward. He caught it still, but he didn't give himself that oomph because he slid off. If he hadn't done that, he was catching it. And from there, I genuinely do believe that he's gonna not make the same mistakes that Philip does, and I genuinely think that a second win is in the cards for Renee.
I think he can do it. Whether or not he actually does is another question.
Yeah. We'll find out in April, because I'll just ask Fabi for the results.
Yeah, actually, Germany was really tough to watch this year because of the really bad pacing. I might just have you tell me the results.
I don't blame you. The last episode was really tough.
Because it's not like I can ask for A&W results this year.
Because we know it.
Right.
Poge said that multiple people said that that this final is impossible again after this year's Ninja Warrior Germany season. It's just a very European trend. I hate to say it that way, but it is. Because every time I see someone lose in a European final stage, there's always people commenting that it's impossible to do. I saw it with Germany, obviously with this one we were just talking about. Poland refuses to accept that they can climb a rope in 25 seconds. With all the pull in the world, they're just like, it's impossible. The UK champion took 45 seconds and almost lost. And you want us to do it in 25. It's because the rope is shorter and because they're pulling them up.
And also because Tim Champion sucked.
And also because Tim Champion sucked at climbing. That was one of the worst Consens, period.
Maybe the worst.
During the first, or not the first season of France, but the second season of France, when we had the first finalist in France, he timed up. People were like, it's impossible. Jean Tezenos proceeds to do it 2 years later. It's really...
I mean, literally, we said on the G4 forums that the Shin cliffhanger was impossible. So, that's not unique to European rope climbs. We've been saying nobody beat that, it's impossible forever. And the only reason we're not doing that about vertical limit burst is because, we understand now the kind of strength and tech that people have. And we also literally just saw Tyler Smith and Phil Folsom do it last week.
Yeah. I'm not going to say, I am going to kind of defend my point. I do think it's more about a European final because it's fans who are getting upset that the season ended that way. It's just impossible. And you're going to end our season disappointing us and making us think that we're going to see something that we're not going to see. And that's kind of where the complaints are coming from. And I think it's complete crap. So, the Polish need to learn how to climb ropes, man.
Yes.
So much,
Especially if they keep
so
making
much-
their stages 2 and 3 so easy.
Yeah. So there was so much pull on the ropes, especially in season 8 of Poland, and I was like, oh my gosh, they're actually going to get a winner because these guys are going to get pulled all the way up. And the big thing is none of them jump when they start. They immediately, like Alex, immediately lock into a J hook.
Yeah, don't do that.
And so,
Which, to be clear, it is not legitimately possible to clear a 21-meter rope climb in 25 seconds, unless you get pulled, but they are getting pulled. So
yeah.
technically, Poke is correct, but
Yeah, they were definitely getting pulled, but so what? It is technically part of their job to pull them up, to provide them with slack, but not pull. But no, the Polish are fully getting pulled. And like you guys see when Drew climbed or when Vance climbed, Vance went like all arms. He jumped and he pulled and he got like 20 feet up before he locked his legs in. He got in that J hook and he paced himself properly to where he got to the top. And
they only really pulled people for the first like 20, 30 feet. Though,
agreed.
Nowadays,
They
pulled Drew.
They pulled
the entire
Drew the
way.
whole way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that should kind of be the strategy. You need to jump. You need to pull up with your arms for a little bit as much as you can. Lock in with your legs at the right time, and just go all guts for all the glory. Push as hard as you can, hands and feet and all that stuff. Yada yada. Get the buzzer. And the Polish immediately, they don't move their hands. They just locked their legs in, and started climbing. And it was so hard to watch that because every time I saw that, I was like, no one's winning. They're not winning. They're not winning. Because they're... And the guy who got the closest, if he had just jumped and done that, he was going to get pulled up so much more off of just that jump. And then he would have won. But nope. So maybe it's against the rules, but that is a stupid rule. And that's kind of why I'm thinking it might be against the rules. It's very on brand.
Yeah, I mean, that would be on brand.
Very on brand. I had to explain to Evan that Poland ended season 1 with a DQ because a guy touched his knee on the floor as he went under the wall lift, and he was pissed.
Was that Poland?
That was Poland. It was Poland and Russia.
Okay. Yeah, I knew it happened in Russia. I didn't realize it happened in Poland also.
Yeah, that was how season 1 ended. It was great.
There was a worse DQ I remember somewhere, and we were like, "Oh my god, how is this?" We were telling somebody about it, and they're like, "How is this worse than the wall lifting DQ?" And then it was, and I can't remember what it was.
I remember that conversation, but I don't remember what that was specifically. I will say again, props to Australia and Ninja Warrior for actually listening to what the fans were saying, because it was actually a popular show over there, and so people were invested and people were vocal online. And I remember one time in season 2, someone's shoe fell off the rolling log, and they DQ'd her because no part of you can touch the water, and the crowd
It's
was
a
booing it.
disqualification, Kami.
And they were wrong country. The crowd was booing, and then people got mad on Twitter when the episode came out. What's up, Shane? And then they made it a rule where, like, if your shoe comes off and it lands in the water, you're no longer DQ'd. It's got to be like you have to touch the water. You have to fall in the water. And people were a lot happier with that. Have I seen the Ninja Warrior Germany watch numbers, the viewership numbers? Not for the entire season. I know it did all right with the finale, but it wasn't anything totally special. I also know that it was one of the more watched shows in its time slot. So, yeah. I'm curious as to if this season's going to come out earlier. Since they're filming it in April, that's earlier than normal. So I kind of want to see if they're going to release it earlier in the fall. I would like to not have to watch Ninja Warrior Germany and make a review on Ninja Warrior Germany the same time I'm having to worry about Sasuke. Like that's just kind of a hassle. But that's just me.
Was it Oliver Edelman on Eyeglass Alley?
Yes. What did he do again? He tried to.
He jumped, only caught one side, and then saved it by hooking the other side while he was hanging from one side.
Oh,
and
that's
they
right,
DQ'd
for
him 'cause he
the
didn't make
actual
jump.
Lachey for it. Yes, that was dumb. That was very dumb. The one that sticks out in my mind is when Jamie Ron in Vietnam versus the World, he makes it to the spider flip, which means he beat the scuffed playground hold hang climb and the super slick pipe slider. He beats all this ridiculous bullshitty obstacles. He makes it to the spider flip. He rests there for a second and he gets DQ'd because he put his hand on the sideboard of the spider flip, not the ledge. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, he didn't touch the truss. He just touched the side of the board. And that was it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I tuned out for a second. Is this Sasuke Vietnam 5?
Yep.
Honestly, this show deserved to die just for that.
This show deserved to die for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But Sasuke Indonesia's apparently coming back.
Sure. I'll take it. I'll take it.
I want to see what the heck Inui's doing. Inui is supposed to be in Cambodia right now. He posted a whole thing on Twitter, for those who don't know. He posted a whole thing on Twitter about how he's going to Cambodia and it's going to be like a new space for... He's like, I can't wait to bring my show to whatever, to Cambodia, a new land, and blah, blah, blah. And it seemed a lot like he was going to do Sasuke Cambodia. Since then, I've been following his story. The only time I ever really check what that dude's posting is when he's overseas, and that's it. Like, when he was making Mongolia, I was, like, checking his story because he was posting, like, here's the course, here's Hioki testing the course, and all that blah, blah, blah. But now it doesn't look like he's it doesn't look like whatever the show is going to be Cambodia, Sasuke. It says, like, Cambodia is achieving remarkable development. The company was established last year after 3 years of preparation, signed a contract with a local TV station in December. This year, we will start introducing a new program. Starting from zero in a country where not only me, Sasuke, Ninja Warrior, and Takeshi's Castle are unknown, but it's really fun. So, yeah, might not even be Sasuke. And all of his posts have just been him at restaurants and saunas and spas and all this other stuff doing not TV related things. So
I mean, that's just tip Inui behavior.
Yeah. Well, we do know that we're getting to not Takeshi's Castle Thailand. We're getting Sasuke Thailand by the guys who did Takeshi's Castle Thailand. So that's going to be atrocious.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I have zero faith in that whatsoever. I have been told by every single person who's watched Takeshi's Castle Thailand to not watch Takeshi's Castle Thailand. So, it doesn't give me a lot of confidence coming into Sasuke Thailand.
Oh God, I'm literally just looking through every mention of DQ in the Ninja Masters, and I forgot about last year the first episode of France in January, where somebody failed Memory Tower and like the entire chat was convinced that they were going to get like disqualified from the entire season and not make the Power Tower runoffs, and then they made the Power Tower runoffs. I'm like, see, I told you they were not going to get DQ'd.
It was so dumb, man.
Dude.
I like to forget that season as a whole, not gonna lie. I just like to forget that season as a whole. It really hurts to watch. There was too much going on. Way too much going on.
I mean, the last couple... well, actually, I say the last couple, but last season of France actually kind of worked.
Yeah. I am 100% convinced that they made it work by complete accident.
Oh, absolutely. Like, they were borderline, like, daring people to stop watching.
Yeah.
So they didn't have to pay for it anymore. And it completely worked.
You heard what the status of that show is?
I thought it was they weren't airing this year because of the Olympics,
yeah.
And that's why they did 2 last year.
Yeah. So there's a chance that it'll be back in 2025. There's a chance of a lot of shows will be back in 2025. I wouldn't be surprised with random revivals of UK, Austria, or Hungary, just because 2025 is when those licenses are supposedly going to expire. I don't think Austria or Hungary really cares that much. I will be shocked if Hungary comes back. Austria might. But UK is probably the one that's going to try and make something happen the most next year, because the adventure parks are their main source of revenue in that country. They are attached to ITV, and ITV can't use that name and likeness and whatnot if they don't have the license from TBS. So it's a whole thing now, and it's either next year it's going to happen or the show's officially canceled, and I have a feeling stuff might change up in the UK. We'll see.
Hey, I would be perfectly fine with UK being run by someone competent.
Ninja Warrior Netherlands is never coming back, Merta. I'm sorry. But I have reached out to the gyms that you told me to reach out to for WNL. I would love to get some more ninja action in the WNL in the Netherlands. Also, Poke, absolutely. Ninja Warrior Germany All-Stars 2 is goated. It is hands down the best Ninja versus Ninja season out there, period.
I legitimately have never watched a single second of Germany All-Stars.
Germany All-Stars was fun because the format was literally just a bracket, like a standard bracket. It was so nice and so easy to follow. The hard thing about season 1, not great course design, and like prime example, there were some where like the competitors would stop and wait for like ever. Jun Kim had a 2 obstacle lead on someone, turned around and started to cheer on his opponent. And then
it happened in Super Ninja.
And then like, yeah. No, but see, the guy who did it on Super Ninja, he was applauding him like at the end of the course. Jun was like on obstacle 4 of 7. And I was just like, what am I watching? And then so many races where people were walking. It was not fun. But All-Stars 2, courses were more balanced. The competitors were actually speedy. And so it was just so much more entertaining to watch, especially because, again, the format wasn't some overcomplicated wild card, best 2 out of 3, nothing like that. It was just, here's a 1v1, here's the next 1v1. So
Ninja versus Ninja kind of lost me with the wildcard episodes. Like, if they would have just invited 32 teams instead of 36,
yep,
or God forbid 64, it would have been a better show.
Yep.
Everything else about Ninja versus Ninja, I actually really like.
That's fair.
it just feels like Ninja versus Ninja doesn't have the same hit in America like it might in other countries.
It kind of did. I mean, Germany had 2 team seasons and then All Stars, so which went on for 2 more years. Like for 4 years, they had a solid, which is the longest run of Ninja versus Ninja, period. So good on them, I guess. Kim Marshner's runs were the highlights of Germany All Stars 1, 100%. The whole season was just Kim Marshner going absolutely ham while everyone else looked lost.
That sounds about right.
But then season 2 was pretty solid. Season 2 was very solid, actually. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely honest here. This might be is definitely a hot take. I would have enjoyed A&W Junior if their format wasn't so overcomplicated.
There's no universe in which I would have enjoyed American.
I genuinely was. I think the easy thing for me to like digest about it was the fact that the episodes were an hour and the races were like 25 seconds long. And you got a good amount of runs in there per episode. I'm just like, the whole thing about, what was I gonna say? I've now lost my train of thought. Oh, the format. It was the same as Team Ninja Warrior and Ninja vs. Ninja and all that, with the wild cards and the 2 out of 3 and all the, oh, this race is for elimination and this one's not. It was just a lot, man. And it was like 20 episodes long, and it should have been 10. So, well, no.
Yeah, the course were the same.
Ninja Gamer, you're right. The course being the same definitely didn't help, but it also, I was okay with it in the sense that it was the same 3 courses, but I only got each one for like 15 to 20 minutes every episode. So there was still course variety in an episode, and I didn't lose my attention span there. You know what I'm saying? But of course, I would have liked to have seen some more course changes. The A&W Junior format was complicated. It was the whole thing with, like, oh, player A and player B are going to race each other, and then C and D are going to race each other. And then player A is going to race player D, and then B is going to race C, and now it's for elimination. And then the 2 winners.
Yeah, because they didn't want people to.
I was just like, for one, I think that's a dumb format. I think it's very tedious, and I think it's just drawn out and not very entertaining. And then that was the format for every episode except for the finale, and like 4 episodes of those were wild cards, and I was not super into that.
And they also let everybody practice the course a million times because they didn't want people failing it. So that eliminates all of the drama.
Yeah. I don't think it was wild cards necessarily. I think it was just the quarterfinals or whatever they called it in general. And I think for, if you're going to treat... They were like, be sure to tune in next because these guys qualify for the quarterfinals. They spend the whole time hyping up the next round. And yeah, it definitely was disappointing at that point to see that the course did not change. So...
By the way, you want to talk entitlement... the first season of American Ninja Warrior Jr., like everyone who got on that show, their parents thought they were just the hottest shit and got like all mad at us, WNL, for not like giving all of the A&W Junior kids special treatment because they were on A&W Junior. Even though they weren't even the best kids. They just picked kids at basically random.
Yeah.
And then, thankfully, by, like, season 3, that fizzled because they realized that nobody cared about American Ninja Warrior Jr., but, like, that was bad for the first season.
I can only imagine. I'm just glad that didn't happen to us.
Also, I don't know if you know this, shout out to the person who in the 2019 World Survey recommended that we give the top 10 in point safety passes.
Oh, you told me about that.
God, it's so funny.
Yeah, no thank you. That's...
Are we allowed to tell people about the WNL thing that we're doing that's kind of related to the thing we're talking about right now?
The thing in February?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, let's put it this way. Chris wants me to write an article and do commentary for that event. So I think the article is a pretty heavy indicator of how public he wants it to be. Which, speaking of, I think he updated my Trello board. Great.
I just messaged him, but he's not online, so I'm not expecting a response until Monday.
Fair. I think we can just...
Merte is correct. Safety passes are as dumb as ass. And
Yes.
no, we are never doing safety passes in the World Ninja League.
I'm glad that this... I'm glad I've created like a community on my channel and in my live streams of safety pass haters. Like, we just...
I'm not even going to give you credit for that.
No,
like,
of course not.
I think legitimately everyone just hates safety passes.
No,
naturally.
the thing is, there are a lot of people who hate safety passes, but there are also a fair amount of people who will defend them. And I think I've just, in my speech, have just made it clear that we don't do that here on this channel. We don't do it here.
Okay.
But again, I think you're right. If we were to go onto the 1,100 person Discord of Ninja Warrior, probably 900 of them at the minimum would shit on safety passes.
That's fair. I just know, like, on my server, like, when they first came out, we're like, this is the dumbest thing we've ever seen.
Yeah. The same applies
It
for
should
the
have been
Jokers.
15 versus 16 for the last spot in finals, although we kind of saw that.
I was going to say, we all know how that worked out this season.
Yeah. Now, with an ANW 11, like, let me... Because now, it's been a while since I've looked this up. Even though a pedophile won the show, the best season of American Ninja Warrior by far.
It's up there, but I don't know about the best. Poke said the same thing applies for the Jokers. I don't think retries work in general unless it's an official rerun because of a course malfunction. We've been over this, blah, blah, blah. But...
okay, LA would have been Verdale Benson versus Corey McCoy. I could not care.
Yeah. I guess Verdale.
Casey Sachaki versus Josiah Singleton would have been really good.
Jokers are definitely better than safety passes, but at the same time, if Jokers didn't exist, I wouldn't complain.
I am going to retract all of my statements because Brent Stephenson was the first person out in OKC. And he would have faced Damir Okunovic and won. Sandy Zimmerman versus Sean Darling Hammond would have been Tacoma. Because Sandy Zimmerman was the only person who beat Lightning Bolts that didn't advance.
That's actually insane.
Is it worth screwing Jamie should just gone faster. Jamie Ron versus Garrett Lamb. Jamie Garrett. Dustin Rocco versus Jerry DeRelio in Cincinnati.
Interesting.
I like both those people, but Dustin would have won.
Yes.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe not.
Dustin fully has the capabilities of making a careless mistake. Like a full.
I guess, but like it's not that difficult.
I definitely didn't know Dustin Rocco for his consistency. That's for sure. I don't know. Yeah, we can say it. He literally wants me to have an article for it by Monday. So,
well, we can like not give details, but at least tease it, I guess.
There is going to be a test event, and if this event goes well, this new format will be adopted into the World Ninja League, and it is going to be a racing event. That's the news. We're not going to say the rules, the exact format yet or anything like that, but there's going to be a test event. If it goes well, racing could be a qualifier, could be in the future of WNL. Which
I'm pretty sure it's just double a limb, right?
about time, man. Like I've waited. I hope it's not double a limb. I haven't checked the contract in a couple days though.
I know nothing about it. I just know that they asked me to do commentary, and I said no.
Oh, nice. I said yes.
Thank you.
I
Because if you said no, they would have made me.
right. I know that they were debating single or double elimination. I think I understand the appeal of double elimination and stuff. I think it should just be single for the sake of pure competitiveness.
Double people get 2 races and they can survive a goof up.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I understand the appeal to it, but I also don't. I just don't want them to.
So just to be clear to everybody, this isn't a gym. This is not something we're building.
Yeah.
This is in a gym, and the idea is we want to see if it's viable in gyms.
Yes.
So that head-to-head could be a qualifier for next year.
Right.
Gauntlet is not dead, by the way. We did have to move the shipping containers off of Goliathon, which cost me 2 months of my life and probably years when I'm old and gray, but Gauntlet is not dead. We want to do it in 2024. I don't know if we will.
Yeah. No, so
I would say at this point we're not going to.
This wasn't us saying that this is the first time we're going to race ever in the WNL, because obviously there have been events where that's happened, but...
Yeah, we're not NBC.
But, like, you know...
We're also not RJ.
Oh my gosh. Flow course, full course, challenge course, and skills are currently the qualifier formats that gyms can pick from, and they can decide to do double headers. You know, we've seen, like, courses and skills happen. So this is to see if it works for racing to be a potential. So that way, you know, athletes can qualify through that, which I think is really fun, and I really hope that it works out, because I would love to race people. I probably wouldn't be very good at first. Like current state, I'd lose many races. But at the same time, I would love to do some head-to-head competitions.
Dude, I'm so mad I didn't get to do head-to-head on the inflatable obstacle race. Literally, as Philip and I were walking over to do it, and we were just going to cut the kids in line, they started deflating it. Like,
that
literally
sucks.
within seconds.
That
I was so mad.
I need to get a rematch with Donovan. I'm so bummed. I'm so bummed that I lost that one. And not even like bummed, but it was one of those things where I was ahead. Like at the very end, the last obstacle, air quotes, was climb a ladder and then go down the slide. And I was so ready. I looked at it and I was like, yeah, it's a ladder. I've seen the ladders, you know, they're like solid cylinders or whatever. So if you kind of just run up it like a treehouse ladder or something, your feet will catch and your hands can wrap around it and you'll be fine. And you can just scurry on up there like a little squirrel and then go down the slide. I was ahead of Donovan at the time. And as I put my foot on the ladder and I try to jump up, I realized that those are also inflatable holds. They are not solid. And my foot just pushed into the wall essentially and slid because I was in my socks and I had nothing to grab onto. And because I fell, Donovan then caught up with me, climbed the ladder because he saw me fall, and then won. It was a sad time. But I would have loved to have been able to say that I beat Donovan Matoyer in a race.
Side, 2 things. Number one, Evan said that he'll race me at Worlds, which is great because I know I can beat him. And 2, I'm going to text Chris right now telling him that we're doing a staff tournament.
Yes! I would love to do a staff race. Put me in the bracket against D.
You did not need to do D that dirty. I'm sure like Lily Grace will do it. I'm sure Abby would do it. I don't think Greg would do it. I could maybe talk Greg into it.
D?
I know
no,
I couldn't talk Chris into it.
The funny thing is, if D ever hears that I said that, she would be like, I'm just going to volunteer that Faith race you. and then I'd have to raise Faith. I still like my chances, but it's definitely harder
I
to raise
might
Faith.
message D telling her that you were trash talking.
All right. Dude, tell that to Jennifer, and then Jennifer's just gonna be like, I'm gonna put any of my sons or my husband Alf. I will say, Chad.
We could get Chad in there.
Chad and I are we go back and forth on our speed courses quite a bit. Like we're around roughly the same. I'm coughing so much. We're roughly around the same skill level. He definitely has the endurance over me though, because I tend to get tired and make careless mistakes first. But time wise to the buzzer and whatnot, he and I are the gap is closing. That's for sure. His sons are inhuman freaks of nature. If they had a little bit more size on them, I would say they should have, like, the oldest one should have just gone elite already. He just turned 15, though. He wanted to try young adults. He's going to do really well there. And honestly, I think next year he should go elite. But that's just my call.
There's a lot of people who should have gone.
Yes.
It's weird. And then, like, Philip and I just, like, ranted in a meeting once about, like, all the people who need to go elite. And then Chris just, like, snapped at us about it. It was funny.
I wouldn't...
It was, like, one of the 2 times Chris has ever been mad at us.
I wouldn't be against a rule where it's like, once you go elite, you can't go back.
Then nobody would ever go elite.
That's the problem.
And also, like, I like that you're allowed to go elite and then go back. Like, for instance, Steve Lepo, who owns my gym, went elite 2 seasons ago, an adult last season. He's back to elite this season. Because, like, last season, his wife had a baby. And so, like, he didn't train for, like, 3 months.
Right. And, like, you can't commit the time to be elite when you just had a kid.
Like, when I was telling people at the beginning of elite, like, you shouldn't go elite unless you're going to commit at least 5 WN elements. Well, NNL at the time.
Yeah.
Like, that was my barrier. Like, if you're only going to do, like, 1 or 2 events, you should go adult.
Right. That's
if
fair.
you just can't commit the time to it.
That's fair. Also, a random thing, I am currently... because Premier Series, to qualify, you have to be top 25%, right?
In points or in worlds, or get invited. And
Right.
we will invite you if you want it.
I think I'm gonna earn it. But I wouldn't say
I
no.
would love to see it.
I think I actually would say no to an invite if I didn't end up qualifying. I think the competitive pride in me would yeah. It's top,
mainly
it's top 25% per region, correct?
Correct. So you'd have to be in the top 25 of Southeast points.
Yeah. So 25% is there's 36 adult males in my region. So top 25% is 9. I am currently in 11th, behind by 3 points, and that's because there was a competition this weekend in Florida and I didn't go. So I'm kind of on the bubble right now, going back and forth. But there is a chance.
And there's
that
at least
I
one more level up doubleheader, right? So that's 20 points.
There's a level up doubleheader, but I'm actually not going to be doing that one. I'm going to be there's a doubleheader at a Ninja Nation that I'm going to be doing instead, and then I'm going to ref at level up. So
okay.
I've got those 2. I've got the motive competition. Warrior Tech is going to have another that I might go to, but I'm not sure. That'll just depend because it's the week after. I like doing competitions back to back, like 1 week after another, but I also worry for my wallet sometimes.
That's right.
And then it's just tough. Like in April, there's no competitions. Not for anywhere within my region, I think. Like, not close to me. Let me check the schedule again. In April... Yeah, March has like a bunch of stuff that's going to allow other people to get a lot of points, and I will not. And then April has... Oh, okay, there's one in April that I could go to. One. And it doesn't look like there's any Southeast competitions that whole month except for that one. So... Oh, no, there's another one. Ninja Fit's on it, man. Ninja Fit is, like, constantly hosting. But, so there's 2 competitions in the Southeast in April. One of them is in Georgia, which I'm probably not going to be able to drive to. And then the other one is in North Carolina, so I can go to that one. That's nice. But I might end up in the top 25% off of points. I might just be on the outside of that, and it'll come down to how I do at Worlds, which I kind of like because I'll take all the extra motivation for Worlds I can get.
That's fair. Or you could just get top 25% and call it a day.
I could. I am a very competitive person, so
actually,
I'd like to do both.
Think about it this way. There are 36 adult males now.
Right.
There's going to be more by the end of the season.
I would hope so. It's all repeats, though. Oh, man, this dude...
Well, I mean, even if it's like 40 or 45, it still opens up several more spots.
That's true. I am currently in 11th with 22 points across 3 competitions. The guys above me have 24 and 25 points, so it's definitely easy to pass them. But the problem, not the problem, but the fun thing is, everyone's gonna basically everyone who's within that range on the leaderboard is gonna be at motive, because it's a motive competition. So I'll have to really fight for it, which I'm pretty excited for.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am going to leave you to your live stream that I hijacked for 2 hours.
That's fine. I am probably going to wrap up said live stream.
This has been a lot of fun, and we should absolutely collab more often.
Yes.
WNL podcast episode 4 coming soon. 5. And also, I am you accepted my invite to the money cut, right?
Yes.
Okay. Announcement: Kane Casillas will be one of the commentators in the money cut. It's gonna be great.
I don't think some people are aware of what the money cut is.
I am. So, if you guys remember the community cut for Sasuke 40, I am taking over the community cut because they don't want to do it anymore. And it's going to have English commentary, and I don't want to do the community cut again because we've had a community cut of a better
3
tournament, and so it just kind of be like copying somebody else's homework. So I'm really going to make it my own. English commentary. Kane and I are confirmed. I haven't asked Jack and Mary, but I should probably do that.
I would still say ask Billy just in case if you haven't already, but just to see.
Oh yeah, I'll text Billy when we're done with this. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and I am going to finish it in the first half of this year. I'm committing to it. I'm learning Sony Vegas, and I actually understand it now. So I'm gonna get started. I've been downloading like B-roll. WNL will be canon in it because I forgot to mention this, but for Renee's stage 3 profile piece, I'm just gonna bury how bad he is at cliffhangers.
Nice.
Okay, I'll text Billy tomorrow then.
It's not HC fit.
Also, Billy, if you're watching this, before I text you, hi, hope you did well at the HC Fit comp. Thanks for being a goat, and please do money cut commentary.
It was actually a qualifier for the OCR 100 for the, yeah.
That's dumb. Go Texans, go Steelers, stay warm, everybody, and go Steelers again.
Nice. Thank you, Alex.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me, and like I said, we should absolutely do this more often.
For sure. I'll catch you later.
And please do not talk to Kane about Ninja Warrior community stuff. He just wants to fight with me.
Yes. Thank you. I'll let you debate with Alex about who's making the Super Bowl later, Evan. I was supposed to be at level up 35 minutes ago. Thanks a lot, Alex. No, I'm just kidding. This was a great stream. We talked about the teen takeovers. We talked about entitlement in the Ninja Warrior community. And then we just talked about shows and stuff that we liked in general. I had a real good time. Super happy with it. And I look forward to the next one. Next week's actually going to be very interesting in terms of uploads. You're getting a non-traditional upload from me next week. It's going to be a Minecraft video, but I'll be against someone from the Ninja Warrior community. We tend to go back and forth on Minecraft quite a bit. He runs his own Ninja Warrior competition on Minecraft, and you know, it's just gonna be a fun little Minecraft video. I've been editing that one for a while because there's a lot of footage, and I am more of a Hypixel Bed Wars guy, Ethan. I will say right now we played 4 games, and if there is a tie at the end of the video, we will be going live. If there is one, no spoilers, but there's potential for a tiebreaker live stream where you guys, the subscribers, get to pick the game that breaks the tie for the two of us. If there is a tie, of course. It'll be a fun one. It's just a simple, fun one. I don't want to overdo myself, you know, with all these videos. I just want to. These are meant to be fun for me as well. So that's what we're doing. And besides that, man, a lot's happening. I am bringing back the World Ninja League podcast. We're going to cover big events in the World Ninja League. Regionals will get announced very soon for those who are interested in the Tier 1 regional dates. And I'm going to be interviewing some of the people who were, you know, organizing those regionals, some of the gym owners who are designing the courses and whatnot. Hi, Crushery. I'm actually about to wrap up the stream. I'm just telling people what's coming. You should check out this week and next weekend on the Sasuke Nerds. I edited one of them. There's 2 more reviews for Sasuke 41 coming out. I think the next one comes out tomorrow. That's the one that I edited. And then the last one will come out next week. And that's kind of it for January. G4, the Sasuke 36 G4 cut is officially completely edited. We are just looking for the final subtitles. We're getting the final subtitles on that, and then we'll be ready to show all 6 episodes. I'm very excited. As Alex said, the money cut is going to be like Sasuke 41 done a little better, edited better, with as many, you know, important runs shown, with commentary under it, kind of like how Challenge does it with Jim North, where Jim North would speak under the runs. It'll be our own commentary, maybe some subtitles. We'll see. I don't know fully what Alex has in store. That's more his thing. And Skill Sundays tomorrow. At this point, I think I'm going to have to... Skill Sunday might come a little late. I'm going to have to edit that tomorrow. I'm going to have to record that tomorrow and edit it tomorrow. And normally I just edit it. But Skill Sunday will be tomorrow regardless. How would you guys feel about, like, Saturday uploads, Sunday, Skill Sunday, and then, like, just the week is kind of silent unless there's, like, a special video? Skill Sunday is a short series I'm doing. You should check out the YouTube shorts on this channel, Crushery. I just did the first one, so you did not miss much. But I try an obstacle that you guys pick. Chances are, uploads will be Saturdays. Skill Sunday will be Sundays, obviously. There will be some weeks where there is nothing on Saturday. There are going to be some weeks where it's just Skill Sunday, and that's it. Because I'm not... Let's be real, guys. It's been about It's been almost 2 years of doing this channel. I would love to get monetized, someday. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers. And I was really grinding out as many different videos as I possibly could. We're at 536 right now. I am super grateful for all 536 of you. But it's very clear that I don't need to force. Oh, I'm at 537 now. So to whoever subscribed just now, thank you. I can monetize at 500 subs, but it's more like all I can do is get super chats. And I don't have the watch time for that right now, which is fine by me. I need to get more watch hours. I have to get to 3,000. I'll just show you guys. Screw this. I'm going to just show you guys. Because I don't want to have to... You guys get to see behind the scenes. Oops, wrong thing. Wrong thing, I shrank. Let's go with... Oh, thank you for subscribing, Crushery. Happy to have you join. So, 500 subscribers, 3 uploads. I'm definitely going to have 3 uploads within 3 months. 537 subscribers, more than 500. I need 3,000 hours of watch time. I'm currently at 1,889. I don't have enough viewership. And then I can apply, and that'll give me super chats in the streams, a shopping experience where I guess people can plug their products. And then I could start memberships, but I'm just going to be real. I'm never starting memberships. I might have supers open for you guys, but I'm never adding memberships. You guys are mostly children, unemployed children, so I don't see a point in having a paid tier of content when majority of my audience will not be able to pay for that. And then when it comes to, getting 1,000 subs and getting monetized fully with like ads and everything right in there, we still have a ways to go. Nothing wrong with that. I'm still very much happy with, what I have. And I think if I am meant to get monetized, it'll come naturally. It'll come naturally. Besides, we already got the subs. So, no rush. So now I'm going to take it a lot more easy. I was so focused last year on like getting a video out every week to get the watch time up and whatever, and the videos just were not that good in my opinion. I definitely went for quantity over quality. I basically never ever edit my reviews, except for like splicing down the cuts of dead air. And the Sasuke review, if you guys haven't watched it yet, you totally should. I actually edited that, and I think it's a pretty enjoyable video. And that's how I want to be editing my videos more. I want them to be more quality and whatnot. But we are also gonna kind of mix. I love how this has just turned into what is your future going to be on this channel? Because at this point, my wife leaves work in 15 minutes, and then I'll see her, and I have no point in going to the gym. So this is just like a talk about what's going on. I really like 2022 for the channel. 2022 was so random. You had like Ninja Roast and the gaming videos, and a bunch of Cooler canceled. I did a trivia thing with Sasha. Nostalgizimers. If you know, you know. Billy and I had a joke battle, and then a couple vlogs where I would try some obstacles, and that was 2022. And Dropsky 2022 had all that stuff, plus like my reviews. A lot more fun videos, a little random and stuff like that, and that was a lot of fun. I really like. I had a lot of fun making those videos, because why wouldn't I? I was goofing off and doing whatever for the whole thing, for the whole year. 2023 was a lot of fun too, because that was when I got like into the competitive side of Ninja. Obviously, you saw more vlogs of competitions. I started posting more of me doing obstacles. I still did a couple of fun things here and there, but it was more like, let's do the obstacles, let's do this stuff. And that's cool and all. It's not too bad, but I think 2024 we found a balance. I'll just say that for sure. Did Asher just post, Evan? Because I will 100% pull this up. Oh, he did. He did just post. What is this? How long ago did he post this? Yeah, this is my friend Asher. He trains with me at Level Up, but he goes to college. So this video was after 3 months of him not really doing anything. He trained for all of 3 weeks, 2.5 to 3 weeks, and now he's back at school. Super, super talented ninja. You should 100% go check out his Instagram. Bye, Merite. Good night. Thanks for watching. And then Asher also started selling some shirts. So I would change it to just chatting, but at the end of the day, this is an episode of Soapbox. So this is kind of what happens with Soapbox. We do the presentation. We talk about the stuff on topic for about an hour, and then we just kind of talk about whatever. Especially when Alex comes in. Alex and I just we tend to just talk about whatever's on our minds. Yeah, anyways, 2024, we have a good mix of random fun videos, but then also a good mix of the big intense videos. So things like the Worlds vlog will continue to come out, but also Merite, you've been asking. Yes, Ninja Roast 3 is happening. I'm gonna do that in the summer. We're gonna go. I was gonna do that when I went back to my home, Hawaii. When I went back there for my wedding, I was gonna do it then because I want to do it at the same playground, so it's like consistent and it all looks the same. And I want it to be the final Ninja Roast. But what's up, Flo? But I totally forgot to do that when I was over there for my wedding and stuff because obviously the wedding was kind of more important. I was a little busy with other things. In May, my brother graduates high school. I really want to be there. My brother's always been there for me. I'd love to be there for him as he, has his last big moment before he moves out and whatnot. So I will likely be recording Ninja Roast 3 at that playground over there in May, and then it'll come out in like June or something. Trying to see what else. Fun videos, games, random streams. But then we are still going to keep, we've got the random stuff, but then we're going to keep the vlogs, the competitor stuff, Skill Sunday, Soapbox. So we're going to, I think I've now hit my balance of, fun videos and serious videos. The ones that I really enjoy doing, the ones that I like to make. So now I can balance the work with the fun. And I think 2024 is going to be a much more chill year for my uploads, but it's also going to be, in my opinion, the best year overall when it comes to my videos in terms of quality. So I'll make a community post about this. I talked about all of this, and I'm just going to end up making a community post about it soon. But there's still people here in the chat, and I appreciate all of you for sticking around. And if you guys are here to listen, I'm going to keep talking, mostly. We will also probably see Dropskate 10, the final tournament, in 2024 as well. You will. I've decided on what month I want the competition to actually be held. I need to decide what... how do I describe it? I need to decide what month I'm going to actually publish the video. Because I don't know how long it's going to take to edit. It's probably going to be a long video. Dropskate 9 was 2 hours long. I think this one will probably be between 2 and 3 hours, if all goes well. I'm also going to be a lot more... I'm going to go all out with the editing. I've already been working on some graphics for it to make the video look nicer. So you're not just staring at this. What's a good example? Here, I have the Dropscape server here, so let's do this. A lot of the times you guys are just looking at this. And that's Dropscape. That's the whole Dropscape, everything. That's it. That was all that you guys were staring at for the entire thing. I am going to crop out this side of it so you can't see the chats. I'm going to crop out the top. On the top, there's going to be an original graphic, and actually my webcam will be in the center, so that way you can get my actual reactions to things as they're going, with a graphic that says like Dropscape 10 or something like that. This side will also be cropped out. I'm going to have a list of everyone's name with their number, and it'll be green. And then when someone loses, that name will turn red. So that way it indicates, they're out. Here is going to be the list of obstacles. I might swap that around, actually. Competitors might be on this side. The obstacles will probably be on this side just because G4 had the obstacles on this side. I think that makes more sense. So I can introduce the obstacles one by one. The competitors, green names, and then with their numbers, and then it'll turn red when they lose. And then, again, graphic up there. The chat will stay so people can see the chats. I'll be switching around. I'll have like here's a chat for when Renegwagi had to do the final stage. I think I'm going to give every competitor a chat to lock in their answers for stuff. Because obviously in DMs, people were kind of just sharing answers with each other and stuff like that. I'd like to be able to track all of the answers on the server instead of in DMs. So that's one way that I'm going to try and prevent the cheating a little bit. Just a little bit, but there are other ways that I'm going to prevent the cheating for sure. And so that way it's more interactive, and then we'll have that's what it was. So it'll say like Dropscape 10, webcam, Dropscape 10 again, and then right here is going to be the timer in this corner. So that way you can obviously see the time limit. Time limit, obstacles, I think that makes sense. And then the chat will be in the center so you can see everything. You'll still get graphics like this, so that way you can see what the obstacle is. The voice chat will be popping off. And that's how that's how it'll look during the stages, essentially. Separate chats. And that's how everything's going to look for the stages. And then I'm still kind of deciding what I want to do for in between the stages, how I want to edit it. Because I've obviously done I had the player cards and stuff, and I would just kind of recap the results of the stage. I think I can do that, but I also might want to be a little more creative with it. So I'm not gonna fully decide on that yet. In fact, I actually this week, because I'm doing something every week, this week I need to finish deciding on the official rules. So not even there yet, but the rules will be set in stone, so that way everything's ready to go. And from there, we'll see what happens. Dropscape 10 will definitely be fun, and it will be cheat-proof, and it'll be well-edited, and it will be very shocking. That's for sure. My only fear is that when I do checks to see how many people are cheating, I'm going to see that like half of the people cheated, and then I have to DQ half of those people, and then I don't have a show. Because, yeah. Like, if 12 people made it to stage 2, and then I check to see who cheated, and like 5 or 6 of them cheated, and I have to kick out 6 of them, then I have 6 people on stage 2 which means the whole tournament could end on stage 2. Or only 2 people make it to stage 3, and I have to nerf stage 3 and it's lame. Like, I don't know. I want to avoid that. I want to avoid that at all costs. I'm getting a phone call. You guys ready for this? Sorry, I wasn't sure if that was personal or not, but it was not. My friend slash coworker slash fellow coach is trying to build new obstacles for our gym, and he wanted my advice. He wanted to know which obstacles we should prioritize building. So we'll see. I'm gonna have to look through that later. My wife is gonna be leaving work in 5 minutes, and I have been streaming for almost 3 hours. That is kind of insane. Yeah, very interesting. I don't know what else to say. I think I'm out of things to say. Do you guys want to know a fun video or not? Dropskate 10. Will the screen share feature also be required on some obstacles? I am still going to kind of decide that, Poke. The thing about that, if it were up to me, I would love to have every player share their screen. The problem is I can't track everyone's screen at the same time. There's just no way that's going to happen. There's only one of me. And even if like Alex decides to help again or something like that, there's only 2 of us and potentially like 30 to 40 of you guys. I'm maxing it at 50. We'll see how many people apply. Screen share on some obstacles would probably be required. It depends on what the obstacles are, which I haven't decided yet. And then the other thing about like too many people screen sharing is that like it could crash the server. You know, it could really, if I'm trying to record this on like an OBS or something like that, it could really make the video itself run really slowly, and then I have a poor quality video to edit, and that's definitely not what I want. The other thing is I have to upgrade some of my equipment as well. I got to upgrade my camera because it's just not gonna last the whole tournament. My mic is fine. I really like my mic. Actually, now that Alex, I don't have to put this by the speaker because Alex isn't speaking. I can put my mic right back next to me, and I'll sound a little better. So yeah, a bunch of adjustments have to be made. A bunch. January, February. I'll tell you guys, I only have, here's the thing. I only have 2 videos planned for February. One is the next Soapbox episode. The second is the Mick cliffhanger. The Mick cliffhanger is, for those who might not remember, from Shark Tank 1, where you have to make dumb obstacles to make me laugh. I laughed at one where you eat a 30-piece chicken McNugget and then proceed to do the ultimate cliffhanger while screaming, "I'm loving it." I'm going to try that in real life, and I'm going to make that a video. My gym, Level Up, that I train at, not the one that I coach at, but Level Up has an ultimate cliffhanger. So all I need is 30 chicken McNuggets. And I'm going to do it. So at some point in February, that'll come out. But whatever. Oh, and I'm going to post, because again, I put a community post out there. I am going to post my runs from competitions. I'm not going to edit them, really. I'm just going to post them so you can see. I want to track my progress in comps, and I want you guys to see that too. See if you think I'm getting better, getting worse, whatever. So there will be a couple of runs, but I don't really count those as like videos. You know what I'm saying? That's everything. That's so February's soapbox, some comp runs like 1 or 2, and the Mick cliffhanger and Skill Sunday. The Mick cliffhanger is going to be a lot of fun. March, I'm gonna just show you guys. I'm excited because I am excited. Like genuinely, I'm excited to. I'll be real, guys. Last year, I was so exhausted from doing all of the YouTube stuff that I was just like, a part of me was like, I just don't need to upload. But now that I'm allowing myself to take breaks and like I'm doing videos that I enjoy again, and my jobs are mostly ninja, I'm so excited. Like I'm so excited. So the competitor that the community member that I'm facing is Jakari. I'm editing the video of games. We'll see what happens with the tiebreaker. I can soapbox. I haven't decided on all of them yet. I do have an idea for what the next one will be, though, for February's soapbox. Mick Cliffhanger, Sasuke 2 in March, Sasuke Hunted 4, Super Ninja review. The reviews and stuff, I mean, we'll see. This vlog is no longer happening. I'll do a regionals vlog in May, where I, in order to get to the World Championships, I have to qualify in the regionals. Essentially, it's the semifinals, right? And so I'll be vlogging that one because I'm very excited to do that one. I'll drop a teaser for Dropsky, which will also come with the applications and the official dates of the tournament. Ninja Roast 3, Worlds vlog, A&W reviews. This, I'm going to put a question mark on it on when. Sasha has already agreed to do this. We just don't know when. So, yeah. I would like to get Dropsky 10 out in September. If not, I will put it out in October. This one's going to be fun. You guys are going to forget about this in October, which is why I'm fine sharing this. You guys know what a not gonna lie link is or whatever? Essentially, you can send me anonymous messages or ask me anonymous questions, and I'm going to do a video where I'm going to react to that. I'm just going to answer, react, whatever. It'll be fun. Simple, fun stuff. You guys interacting with me. Me reading your responses. We're going to do Shark Tank again. There's going to be some more reviews. December has a lot of stuff where I rank things and whatnot. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. You're not going to see those. These are my W&L things, big projects, competitions. I need to edit that. Stuff I need to fix for the vault. So in total, I have 220 ninja things to do, and this doesn't even count. Like, my competitions are until June right now. More competitions will come in July all the way through to December. I don't have that fully listed out. So I have a lot to do, but it's all very spaced out well now, and I'm actually very excited to do it. So I'm happy. I'm very happy with what I've got. Ninja Gamer, I don't think Ninja Israel is going to have a season 6 yet. Definitely not this year because they are at war and they are not really. There are a lot of competitors who have enlisted in the military. A couple of them have actually died. So I think a lot of TV shows are on pause because of this war, including Ninja Warrior. Ninja Israel normally airs. It comes out in January. It would be out right now. The first 2 episodes maybe, and it's just not. Because they didn't film it, because they didn't anything like that, because war. So my guess is Ninja Israel will have a season 6 because it is a popular show, but it'll be 2025 at the earliest, or hopefully just in general whenever the war ends over there. So, but we are still getting A&W, Sasuke, Germany, Super Ninja 3, Super Ninja Junior, which was announced by the channel as well. Curious as to how that'll go. I feel like it'll either be really good or really bad. Sasuke Thailand is still rumored. Sasuke Indonesia put out casting calls. We'll see if that actually becomes a thing. Again, because the last season of Indonesia was 7 years ago. And then 2 seasons, most likely, of Ninja Warrior Poland. We do have a France versus the World special that will come out. That's already been filmed. So that should come out. I've heard rumors that it's going to come out this month. Hi, Alex. Yeah, this is still going on. We just kind of ranted. People were talking. We're just rambling. I shared my list of things to do because I'm just excited. I haven't talked to people about what's going on my channel in a while, I feel like. So now I'm telling them. The Crushery, it's a rumor. I don't... It's either going to be early in the year or it's going to be closer to summer. Paris is hosting the 2024 Olympics. So I think it would make sense that they would want to drop a Ninja Warrior versus different countries and whatnot around the time of the Olympics. I think that would make sense. It's going to be France and the United States and Japan and Germany and the UK. Those are the 5 teams. Pretty excited about that. Yeah, who knows? Could be fun. Could be a good year. It could be a good year of Ninja in general. Or it could be a really bad year. We'll see. I really should wrap up. But I'm having a good time. A 3-hour stream. I very rarely get to do streams for that long, and I don't think I'm going to get to do streams for that long for a while. So I'm just chilling. 2023 was an awful year for ninja shows. I don't really disagree. I don't think it was that great. Like number 1 for me was season 8 of Ninja Warrior France, and if I had to put it in a tier, I would maybe give it B tier at the very best, like low B tier. And that was the number 1 show of 2023. That's kind of crazy. I would do a subathon if I was on Twitch. I don't know how I would make a subathon work on YouTube. You also asked me, Ninja Gamer. I saw this and I didn't respond. If you were to make a list of every Sasuke tournament from best to worst, where would 41 land? I will say this, Crushery. I'll do a subathon when I get close to 1,000. I'll figure that out. I have my list somewhere, Ninja Gamer, where I ranked everything. There's the rank down. So let's check out. In all seriousness, I mean, okay, so what did I put as number 27? What did I put as number 25? Okay, this is very indicative of... Okay, so Sasuke 1, the original Sasuke, is my number 26. Would I rather watch... I like Sasuke 1, mind you. I think Sasuke 1 is good for what it is. It's not like amazing, because obviously it wasn't perfect. They made things better as it went on. But it's my number 26. Would I rather watch Sasuke 1 or Sasuke 41? 100% I would rather watch Sasuke 1. What's my number 27? My number 27 is Sasuke 22. Well, my number 28 is Sasuke 31. I like 31 more than I like 41. My number 29 is Sasuke 26. I would rather watch Sasuke 26 over 41. Number 30. So it's apparently low on the list, Ninja Gamer. This is my first time doing a ranking of this. Sasuke 21 or Sasuke 41? Sasuke 21, but not by much. The gap is getting closer. My number 31 is Sasuke 39. Sasuke 39 is number 31 for me. Would I put Sasuke 41 over that? Because I think Sasuke 39 is genuinely bad. But I also think that Sasuke 41 is genuinely bad. You know, I think I would bump Sasuke 39 down to 32. 32nd place. And I think Sasuke 41 would be like 31st place. I think that's where it would be. Sasuke 20. Sasuke 20 is what Evan said is the worst tournament. If I'm not mistaken, I do have Sasuke 20 as my worst tournament as well. Oh, shoot. Sasuke 41 would be 32nd. I just realized I'm looking at my list and I didn't update it with Sasuke 40. Sasuke 40 is definitely higher than both 39 and 41. I don't know how much higher it would be, but it's higher than both of those. So Sasuke 41 would be 32nd place. Sasuke 39 would be 33rd. That's 33 is down there for me. Sasuke 33 I have ranked as my number 38. I have it ranked as the second worst tournament. 20 is my worst, 33, and then my bottom 3 rounded out is Sasuke 19, which I know there's a lot of Sasuke 19 defenders. So, oh well. I definitely would rather watch Sasuke 41 over Sasuke 19. My top 5 still remains, although I think I need to swap my 2 and 3. My number 5 is Sasuke 12. My number 4 is Sasuke 36, which is really the only one that I truly love out of the modern era. I have 37 pretty high, but I think I need to change that. I did enjoy 37. 37 was my favorite one to watch live, but on rewatch, it's definitely not as good as it was live. My number 4 is Sasuke 36. 5 is Sasuke 12. Number 3 is Sasuke. I need to swap these. Yeah. Sasuke 24. Really enjoy Sasuke 24. And it was number 2, but then I rewatched my number 2 and my number 3, and I decided to switch them. My number 2 is now Sasuke 23. Again, I rewatched both of them, swap them around. And then my number 1, to nobody's surprise, throw it in the chat. I don't even have to say it. You all know what my favorite is. Evan got it right on the money. Sasuke 17, my number 1. Good one, Ninja Gamer. You had me confused for a second there. I will say that, where do I have Sasuke 3 ranked? I have okay. I was going to say, like, Sasuke 3 is definitely in my top 10. Sasuke 3, for those who don't know, is the one that got me into Ninja. I was on G4, like we were channel surfing and we found G4, and I saw Sasuke 3, and I was like super intrigued by it, and I thought it was super cool. It was on stage 1, and we watched the whole thing, my dad and I, and it ended, of course, with Yamada getting super close to a Kanzen and then falling. So that one definitely has more of a core memory for me. And then I watched the TBS version, and I really enjoy the TBS version of Sasuke 3 as well. So Sasuke 3 is actually my number 6. Very high up there. Bit of nostalgia maybe, but I still think it's a very well-paced tournament. You think 4 is better than 3? I really like Sasuke 4 as well. So I don't fault you there. 4, if I'm looking at my rankings correctly, Sasuke 4 is my number 10. So Sasuke 4. And then number 11 is Sasuke 5. Love me some Sasuke 5. My top 10 is pretty valid. I like my top 10. It's 17, 23, 24, 36, 12, 3, 18. What's my number 8? Where is my number 8? Number 8 apparently for me is Sasuke 37, which I might have to change. And then Sasuke 7. And then rounding out my top 10 is Sasuke 4. I might have to drop 37 down a little bit. but at the same time, I still enjoy. There's still definitely good stuff about Sasuke 37. Would I rather watch Ninja Israel 5 or Sasuke 20? Ninja Gamer, do I have to watch the qualifiers and semifinals, or do I just have to watch the finale of Ninja Israel? Nice, a Ninja Warrior UK fan. Alex, 37 is not number 1. 37 is number 8. 17 is number 1. If I have to watch the qualifiers and semis of Israel or just Sasuke 20, I'll watch Sasuke 20 because I can get it over with faster. Do I like Sasuke 17 or the finals of Ninja Warrior Germany 6 more? Sasuke 17. I don't think any televised ninja tournament is going to be on the same level as Sasuke 17 for me ever. I think it's dang near perfect. But Ninja Warrior Germany 6, man. Oh, the finale. Oh, so good. So good. That's tough. It is a tough one. Ninja Warrior Germany 6's finale is very, very high up there to the point where it's like, arguably, you could say that it is the best non-Japanese Ninja Warrior tournament out there. Like, there is a legitimate debate for that against very, very few tournaments. I think Australian Ninja Warrior Season 4 deserves a mention. A&W 7's finale deserves a mention. Just the Vegas stuff. Man. A&W 5's maybe a bit of nostalgia there, but I like A&W 5's finale. Man, what else am I thinking? I guess that's it. Like, I can't really throw much more. Like, I can't throw many more finales into, like, that goated tier. You know what I mean? Like, Ninja Warrior Germany 6, A&W 7, A&W 5, Australia Ninja Warrior 4. That's, like, the goated tier of finales. But there are also some, like, in the really good tier right below it. You know what I'm saying? But if you were to ask me to compare, like, I personally think the finale of Ninja Warrior Poland 6 and 7 are pretty good. The finale of France 5 is amazing. The finale of France 5 is awesome. It's really high up there. But if you were to ask me, would I rather watch the finale of France 5 or the finale of Germany 6? Without hesitation, I'm picking the finale of Germany 6. Like, not even close. As an Australian, you hate the Australian Ninja Warrior 4? You don't like 4 where they won? I'm surprised. I'd like to hear your reasons why. My favorite finales were probably either 4 or 5, but 5 didn't have a very strong course. It was just like, eh. In the okay. This should be something I should make a soapbox episode about. The ads say that, okay, but that doesn't tell you that they win. That's honestly, that's one of the more tame spoilers. That's one of the much more tame spoilers. Because, like, it's not like they said someone's going to win. They just said someone's going to make it to the final stage, essentially. And I would much rather have that than A&W outright tell us that someone's going to win the million. Sasuke forever spoiled when someone would win. They just didn't tell us who. So, I don't really understand that. I can understand why you would be bummed that that moment was taken away. But also the fact that 3 people made it there, like, that was enough. That's enough for me to still be surprised. You know what I mean? Because if they say someone, they say someone. So when 3 people make it there, you weren't promised 3 people. You were promised 1. You know what I'm saying? That's my stance. I know someone in the community who hates Sasuke 36, which, as I just said, is my number 4 tournament. They hate Sasuke 36 because they looked on Twitter under the Sasuke hashtag and saw that Yusuke was warming up for the final stage. They spoiled it for themselves by looking on Twitter, and immediately from that moment on have hated the tournament since then. One of the most ridiculous reasons to hate a tournament ever. They have it in like their bottom 5 or something like that. It is so insanely dumb. So I can understand why you'd be bummed about a spoiler about that crushery, but at the same time, it could be worse, I guess. It could be worse. You could also be A&W and spoil the number of finalists. That was insane. The boxing match during 36 Live was not great. I did use that as an opportunity to like make some more popcorn and use the bathroom and stuff. Like I didn't watch it, but it did go on for a while. Yeah, I just avoid trailers in general for ninja shows. I don't. I think with like I like to watch trailers for stuff with actual stories, you know, for movies and things like that. For ninja shows, it doesn't really bother me because it's like obstacle, 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 obstacle. I don't care. Someone's gonna send me a photo of it anyways, and if I want to avoid the results, I can look at a photo of the obstacles and not watch the trailer and not know any results. And if I want to know the results, I just ask someone who is on set and I'll know. I know the results of AEW 16 that way. I knew the results of Germany 8 that way. You know, things like that. So trailers for ninja shows, they don't really bother me. Although I will say Sasuke, Australian Ninja Warrior, and Ninja Warrior Germany used to have some awesome trailers. Like their trailers used to be sick. Nowadays they're all right. They're just good. And they get the job done. They get you a little bit excited. But I remember the trailers for Sasuke 39 were insanely good. And like Australian Ninja Warriors trailers, they went all out with special effects and stuff. It was sick. And Ninja Warrior Germany, they had fun little bits and stuff, like where they treated the athletes like robots and they did these cool tricks and then they cut to the obstacles and stuff. I thought that was really cool. Like those 3 shows did very good with their trailers. And I was very happy with that. Also, you are right, Evan. I am curb stomping Julius. That is insane. I just checked the scores. I am also currently the highest scoring team in the whole league for this week. I've got everybody beat by at least 150 points. That's pretty cool. Why couldn't I have done that when I was like facing you or something, Evan? Oh well. And now I'm facing you next week. That's fun. I just have to hope that my guys still do well. Oh yeah, rip jaw. That actually sucks. This is interesting. Anyways, that's it for basketball for now. I might have a chance. My guys are getting a lot better right now. You hope it gets buffed in 42? I hope it doesn't. And I hope... You know, this is my hot take because I see everybody saying like it was meant to take down Yusuke and nobody beat that, and like because Yusuke can't do it, nobody can, and blah blah blah. I think we're at a point where multiple people can make it to the final stage. Like Yusuke almost beat the burst. He was not the only person to almost beat the burst. Keitaro got close. Ryusuke made it pretty... He got to the same spot as well as Yusuke. And then I'm sure Tada will improve. And I genuinely do think Yoshiyuki could do well on it if he makes it there next tournament. But, like, genuinely, I feel like we are in an era now. Finally, it took long enough for them to close the gap between them and Yusuke. I still think Yusuke is the most likely to win. I still think Yusuke is the best ninja in Japan right now. That's on Sasuke. Ryohei is the best ninja, but whatever. But Miyaoka and Keitaro, both of them, they close the gap. They're showing what they're capable of, and if they're training this hard, I wouldn't be surprised if either of them make it to the final stage. Do I think that they would win when they get to the final stage? Probably not on their first try. Not on their first try. And that's why I think Yusuke is more likely to win, because Yusuke will go there and it will be his second time on that final, and I have a feeling that's all it's going to take for him to beat it. So, but I no longer think we're in an era where stage 3 is going to be just Yusuke clearing, even with the burst. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see that, and I'm curious to see who's going to join. That is like the main intrigue for me for Sasuke 42. I could not care less about Sasuke 42. Like I don't give a crap, except for who makes it to the burst and who beats it. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about if Kayu or Nakashima could make stage 3. I don't care if King Kasugi comes back from his injury and makes it to stage 2 again, although I kind of would care. I don't care like which foreigners they invite, because frankly, as much as I love the foreigners, they're not going to get shown. The track record has been proven now. They're not going to get shown. So why should I care? Why should I care about the 3 people that they invite to fast forward? Same thing for Trials and Koshin. I'm not going to pay attention because you're not going to show them in full. Like, you're just like, this happened and they ran the course and they failed. And that's it. So if Shingo fails the Silk Slider, I'm honestly not going to, like, who cares? Shingo fails every other obstacle anyways. It's insane. So yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I don't have much I feel like I care about when it comes to Sasuke nowadays, because I don't feel like they've given me much to work with. But at the end of the day, I do care about, I genuinely would be fine tuning into just stage 3. So Crushery, I think Kane could clear stage 1. I don't think he'll clear stage 2, but I think he'll clear stage 1 if he's healthy. If he's healthy and in shape and training the way he was for Sasuke 40, he definitely could. Twin Diamonds are not that hard of an obstacle. He will be totally fine on that. And the time limit is really, really generous right now. 110 seconds is very generous for Sasuke for stage 1. So yeah. That's just me. I think a stage 1 clear is definitely still possible. I don't think a stage 2 clear is in the cards though. I think a stage 2 would have been possible if he was healthy this year, but after being out of it for a year and coming back at his age, not, yeah. See, I don't know why people keep putting their faith in Ryo. I understand his grip strength is crazy, but he so clearly lacks the consistency. He's never going to give you that run that you want. He's never going to do it again. Simple as that. Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. Professional choke artist, Ryo Matachi. Just realized. Just realized Sasha isn't home yet. That's a little concerning. Does she get off now, or does she get off in 30 minutes? I'm confused. Sasha. Oh, she gets off now. I thought she got off at 5. She gets off at 5:30, which is right now. So that makes a lot more sense. Okay, I have nothing to worry about. She's still at work and she's going to be getting off work. I am calm now. I am much more calm. Yeah, Yuji at 45 makes stage 3 consistently, but Ryo can't do anything. sounds about right. Yuji's bringing it, man. It's getting dark, huh? You guys can barely see me. I'm in like this little white light. We'll do this. Pop. There we go. Now you can see me. Rio could theoretically get to stage 3. Almost down to luck. He could get to stage 3, 100%. I refuse to ever believe that he will ever make it back to the final stage. I have thought that for a long time. Okay, that statement makes more sense, Vitamin. That makes much more sense. Yeah. I don't really have much else to add. And I haven't eaten in a minute. I should probably go eat something. You know, it's dinner time. And last I had was lunch like 5 hours ago. So I should probably go and eat a snack at the very least and make some dinner. Anyone have any final thoughts on anything really regarding the soapbox topic of teen takeovers, my channel, videos that you want to see or would like to see, or Sasuke? I guess because we're talking about Sasuke right now, I guess. Y'all got some jokes today. Y'all are good. I have been playing on the Switch. Currently, the only game that I have is Super Smash Bros. So I've been playing Ultimate a lot. Not a lot, honestly. I've been playing Ultimate like once a week, twice a week if I'm lucky. And Sasha also got Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader for us, and we just do like random trivia stuff sometimes. But it's fun. When Caillou cleared, I ran around. Okay, I need to tell you guys about my viewing experience for Sasuke 41. It was awful. Awful. I ended up rewatching it because I always watch this stuff twice. So I had the flu last month. I told you guys this. I was coughing and blah, blah, blah. The coughing was so bad that I was waking Sasha up. And so I go downstairs onto my couch. I bring my phone. I charge it. I plug it into a charger. And I'm watching, I'm watching Sasuke on the Twitch stream. And it starts and I'm like, hey, it's already Sawa, blah, blah, blah. And I start to fall asleep. And I'm like, you know what? I'm tired. I got work in the morning. I'm going to go to sleep. I fall asleep for about 10 minutes. I wake up coughing. 10 minutes, okay? And then I feel like I'm just watching. Not much happened in the first 15 minutes, I guess. See the first clear, super exciting. Who is that? Yamashita? I see his run. I think that's Yamashita. I'm pretty sure. I need to get better at remembering their names personally. That's on me. And I watch that and I'm like, cool. I fall asleep again for like another 5 to 10 minutes. And I wake up and Caillou is at the starting line. And I'm like, oh snap, I woke up at like the perfect time. And I watch Caillou, I watch Nakashima, I watch all the way up to Hyoki's run. So I watch like, a stretch of 10 runs. I fall asleep. I'm out. I'm like so tired. I wake up and I wake up and June's running. Like June is about to get to the fishbone. I swear I woke up for like all of the highlights of the tournament. And then I fell asleep for all the boring stuff. That's genuinely what it felt like. I watch June. I watch all the way up to Iwamoto and like Darvish or whatever. And I'm like, well, at this point, I know that my favorites are coming up. I finished stage 1. I watch all of stage 1. Then I watch stage 2, and when Rio falls off the salmon ladder, I fall asleep again. Actually, no, that's not true. I watched all of stage 2, but I was coughing and I felt terrible. And then stage 3, I fell asleep and I woke up and I was on Daniel Gill. Yeah, I was on Daniel Gill. And so I was so sick and I was out of it entirely. And Then I watched it on my own all in one sitting, you know, the way it should be, and then I made my review. You guys, this is Rufio. Rufio! Let me see if you can see. Oh man, don't crash my camera. I unplugged my camera. Well, Rufio is a cat, and I love that cat. He's hilarious. I have a bunch of stray cats. Gosh dang it, I unplugged my camera. There we go. Please tell me you're back up. I just want to show you my cats, man. Oh gosh. You ready for the inception? Now you're seeing the stream of the stream. What in the world, bro? Okay, we're back on. Close, and bam, we're back. Awesome. Anyways, so I adopted these stray cats, basically. They come up to my house and we feed them. There's 7 of them. 5 of them come to eat regularly. 1 of them comes irregularly. And the other one, his name is Rufio because he chills on the roof. And so I am right next to my roof. Let me see if I can get it around to the cat. To Rufio. Rufio, buddy. There he is. On the left side of your screen, right by the black. He's just chilling on the roof. And he stares at me while I do my work. And while I stream. And while I record things. It's adorable. I love Rufio. He's hilarious. But that reminds me I gotta give him some treats. You want some treats? Sometimes I throw cat treats up on the roof. And he'll go up there and he'll eat. Yeah. So that's Rufio. I could do a whole thing about the cats. I love cats, man. I've always grown up with pet cats. So, definitely some attachment there. With that said, that's definitely my sign to end the stream. It's been 3.5 hours. Thank you for tuning in general. Thank you especially to those who watched the entire stream. A Sasuke joke battle with Fort would be a lot of fun. We'll see. But for now, I really do have to get going. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.